Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Yep.
Time to be awake, Ethan.
Oh my god.
This is no.
He's gone full fucking dick rider.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
He flew everybody out to his house to make this. Are you fucking shitting me? How long did this take? Like this was all going on behind the scenes while fucking iDubbbz is pretending like he doesn't want to get involved. Oh my god. This is their big own to Ethan. And they're using iDubbbz as a vehicle for it and just completely shitting on the legacy of Content Cop and what it's supposed to be.
We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not.
I would guess that the difference is Olivia really did want to stay out of it, and she got drug into it. She wasn't out there tweeting about it. She wasn't trying to get involved. She wasn't doing what you were doing and pretending to play both sides. I would say that that's probably the difference, and probably why she gets quote-unquote the pass.
We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
Do you guys remember when Content Cop had good jokes in it because they were edgy? In case you wondered what a Content Cop with, family-friendly jokes that aren't edgy looks like, that's it. That's what it looks like. We be following. We be following. Oh, it's fucked up that we be following on the platform where the entire point is to follow people. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, witches of all ages, the time has come. iDubbbz, one of the premier creators from the edgy era of YouTube back in the 2015-2016 era, the golden years of YouTube. He was known for a series called Content Cop. And in case you don't know who iDubbbz is, quick brief summary, because I'm assuming most of you already know, but just in case you don't, iDubbbz was the guy who would make Content Cop videos. They were videos that would call out larger creators for their content, basically. And his videos were brutal. They often include slurs and things like that. He pulled no punches. He held nothing back. He was edgy as hell. And they were mega popular. Millions upon millions of views. Getting a Content Cop on you by iDubbbz was considered career-ending for a lot of YouTubers. Some of his more famous ones are, like he did one on Leafy is Here, who has now been permanently banned from YouTube since, and I think a bunch of other platforms. He kind of fell off after the iDubbbz thing. Rice Gum, it's kind of the same story. He called him out. Rice Gum made threats. He then challenged him to a boxing match that Rice Gum then dodged. He kind of lost a lot of his audience from that. Tana Mongeau was another one that he actually went to one of her events because she had this big controversy with saying the N-word. He went to one of her events for his Content Cop to create content for it. He went to one of her events to meet her in person, and when he got up there to stand, and she didn't know who he was, she just thought he was a fan. So when he's standing up next to her for the photo op, he leans in and says, N-word, F-slur, say N-word, and then does that right as the picture's being taken, and you can see the look on her face, and it was priceless. And then she had a complete crash out about it, which he then talked about in his Content Cop. And of course he did some on Jake Paul and some other larger creators. But those are the main ones that are going to be addressed here, because after doing those Content Cops, he kind of disappeared from the internet, sort of retired. Now a lot of people are going to blame his comeback because he then came back to the internet and immediately apologized for all of that content. It was an apology that no one asked for, not even the people that he made hit pieces on, that he made Content Cops on. None of them even asked for the apology. So he came back, made an apology for it, and then said how much we'll watch his apology here. So he came back, he made this apology. In a video entitled, I Miss the Old iDubbbz. All right, so I'll read the description first. I haven't spoke candidly about my feelings on this channel. I've always been obscure by video criticizing someone else or some kind of skit. I've changed and matured during my time here on YouTube, and I'm glad that I have. And then he lists charities he supports and tries to make it a big, bleeding heart thing. A lot of people found this disingenuous because it's not like he's a young guy who made mistakes when he was a teenager. He was in his 20s when he made the content cop stuff. And now when he's making this apology video, for context, this man is 30 years old. So he's grown and discovered empathy at the age of fucking 30. Is basically what this all boils down to. But anyway, here's the apology. We're gonna watch this real quick, and then we're gonna watch his new content cop, because after all these years, he's made a new content cop. We'll watch this first.
For a while, I felt like if I changed my content over time, that people would see that as a reflection of who I am and what I value. But
so he's talking about changing his content over time. Yes, I'm going to interrupt because we're going to react. When he's talking about changing his content over time, it's not like he retired from his channel entirely. He still posted on his channel, but they were not the same kind of video. Like, he stopped making the content cops, he stopped making the edgy stuff, and then he had like some video where he like found a squirrel in the wild he caught to pet or something, and then he made like bad unboxing videos where he just unboxes stuff from fans, and he used to do a series called Kickstarter Crap where he made fun of Kickstarters. I think he quit doing that one too. Like, all the content that he did on his channel, there were some things that were kind of successful since then, since he's kind of become the more lighthearted liberal Ethan. I mean, liberal Ian. God, I get their names mixed up. So iDubbbz is Ian, H3H3 is Ethan. So Ian, I'm just gonna call him iDubbbz. So iDubbbz started making documentaries on his channel. Like, he had this really good one on Airsoft Fatty, another creator that kind of considered a low-cal. He gets made fun of. He's a fat kid with a lightsaber, blah, 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 and airsoft guns. Airsoft Fatty. So he traveled to that guy's house, did kind of a documentary style thing on him. It's a popular video. And he did the documentary stuff for a while until he did a documentary on Sam Hyde, who trolled the absolute shit out of him with his documentary. Apparently Sam Hyde does not like Ethan. I can understand why. Sam Hyde is a far right guy, and Ethan is, iDubbbz is a liberal. So you can guess that they didn't see eye to eye. And while iDubbbz was sincere in doing an actual like documentary on Sam Hyde and learning about why Sam Hyde lost his show on Adult Swim, and learning about the stuff he's been doing on YouTube and trying to basically tell people who he is, Sam Hyde just saw it as one big opportunity to play a joke on a liberal and to get his own and make a skit out of it. So when he arrives to do the documentary on Sam Hyde, he starts filming, and he goes into this office where it's got a bunch of people who look like they're on meth sitting on the floor, and just it's this trashy, cheap looking office. And he introduces this one methed out looking girl. I say that in quotations. Methed out looking girl with tattoos, and she's real trashy looking, like white trash. And he introduces that as his girlfriend, his secret girlfriend, and he's basically having all these people interviewed and treating it like a real documentary. The problem is, absolutely none of it was real. Sam Hyde hired actors to play all of those roles, rented out a cheap office space to make it look as if he is running the most like cheapest production possible, and that it is just pure chaos. And he basically just fucked with Ian. Everything he told him during it was a lie. All the stories he told him, his backstory, his girlfriend, everything was a lie. It was all taken to an extreme just to mess with Ethan, just to mess with iDubbbz. And then at the end of it, he reveals to iDubbbz, no, man, none of this shit's real. And just they kind of had a beef over it because iDubbbz took it personal. He didn't take the joke very well. And he releases his documentary after Sam Hyde releases his documentary. So he released his fake documentary, and then iDubbbz tried to release one to explain what happened. It didn't look well for iDubbbz not taking the joke well, and that was the last of his documentary series. So he has this habit of like doing things and then not being able to take the joke. As this guy who will joke on other people, that's what his content was known for. And now that he's trying to get away from that, people still make jokes of him and remind him of his past. It's this inescapable thing he can't get away from. And whenever it's brought up or is thrown back in his face, he does not take it well. So that's where we are. That's the content he's talking about. And now he's apologizing for all of it.
I'm starting to realize that is a very weak and passive way to run my channel and live my life. So I think it's, if I'm going to have the balls to go to Tana's fan meetup and say slurs at her and then make a video about how it's okay to say slurs, I think I should have the balls to make an apology video and take accountability for the mistakes I've made. So
Again, it's an apology no one asked for. I get wanting to apologize if you genuinely feel bad for the stuff you did, and maybe you did, but I don't go by how I feel when I make an apology. Like, I live by the tone of I will only apologize, and this is how I think most people should apologize, because this is how you get a sincere apology. I don't think you should apologize based on feelings. I think you should only apologize when you are wrong. Is the stuff he did harsh? Sure, he was harsh, and it was funny, but he wasn't wrong. And Tana agreed with him. If I can find that video, I'll play it next. But this is already going to be long as fuck because we got to watch this, and then we got to watch 2 other videos after this one, and then a response. So we've already got a lot laid out in front of us. But if I can find that, there was a podcast that she was on. If I can find a clip from it, I'll check real quick, where she says that she didn't even want the apology. Like, she doesn't feel she deserved an apology. She actually thanked iDubbbz for making the content cop on her, because as much as she hated it at the time, it was the reality slap in the face that she needed to change her content. And she thinks it saved her channel and didn't kill her career, because she's doing fine now and her content has changed, and she thanks iDubbbz for that. So he's apologizing for something that she didn't even want him to apologize for in the first place.
So that's what this video is. I've realized that I need to be crystal clear about what I believe, so there's no room for ambiguity. I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel, and I've also created a culture of apathy and, I don't know, a lot of like cruelty as well. Like,
I don't like this framing that content creators create a culture. It very rarely does that happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Like, Hasan Piker has definitely created a culture around himself. Like, there are some creators who have a cult-like fan base. Joe Rogan, you know, like they can actually sway people. But most people who aren't actively trying to sway their audience, who are just making content, and that's what iDubbbz made. He just made content cop videos where he took someone's content, criticized it, made fun of it, and that was it. He wasn't trying to change anyone's opinion on it. He wasn't trying to tell people not to watch them. Like, there was no call to action. There was no like specific demographic he was going after. They were just his feelings and his criticisms of someone else's work. That's not cultivating an audience. If your audience is people who like those slurs and blah, 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 you didn't cultivate that. They already liked those slurs before they watched your channel. That's why they were drawn to your channel. Now, if you're saying that your content attracted a certain group of people that you didn't like, that's fine, but you didn't create that. And now I guess he's trying to get rid of that, which is, yeah, he's definitely trying to get rid of that, because now he doesn't like the audience he has.
you know, some of the videos I've made have been very, not edgy. I don't think they you know, some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. So I don't want people to, you know, get it confused about, you know, where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and you know, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and you know, I make a different set of mistakes.
Yeah, but that's how we judge who's better than the other person. Like that's the thing. If you would never make the mistakes that they make, like what makes you better than a murderer? Oh, you'd never murder somebody. It doesn't mean you made a different set of mistakes, so you're both on the same level. Like, I'm not the same as a murderer. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I would never murder somebody in cold blood, just to like plan out their murder. No, I wouldn't do that. I would never R-word a girl. Never do that. It's not that me and this guy made a different set of mistakes, and his set of mistakes were R-wording a girl and killing a guy, and, you know, I ran a red light once, or I forgot to pay for something, you know, I forgot to tip my server at a restaurant. Yeah, those mistakes aren't on the same level. Obviously, I'm a better person. Obviously, you were a better person. They were making mistakes and had egos at the time that you felt the need to call out because the internet was putting their shitty behavior up on a pedestal and making them rich off of it. And you were right to call it out at the time, iDubbbz. You were absolutely right. And at the time, you probably might have been a better person. One who didn't pull his punches. Like one of the famous lines from his content cop, when he goes into Tana saying the N-word and he's talking about the N-word and he's doing N-word F slur, because that's what he would say, N-word F slur as like one word. One of the famous lines is either, when it comes to slurs and shit, either all of it's okay or none of it is. And that's a sentiment most people agreed with. That's how free speech works. Either we have free speech and we can say all this stuff. And free speech means all of it's okay, even the stuff you don't like, or we don't have free speech. And now we need to police language. And if that word's not okay, then this word can't be okay, then this word can't be okay. Like that's the idea, is you're going down this slippery slope of language policing now. Like, do we have free speech or are we policing language? Which one is it? People agreed with that. And it seems like he's changed his position since.
Than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave. And it's not.
Again, these people already thought that. These people already thought that. Like, people came to your videos and the reason they blew up, you didn't indoctrinate them into thinking this. That's not what your videos did. You're not Hasan Piker. You're not slowly grooming an audience over time. You just criticized stuff and moved on. People watched you for this, like that phrase, oh, he just said what everyone else was thinking. That's why people watched you, because you were the guys with the balls to say the thing they were already thinking. You didn't indoctrinate them. It's not that they wouldn't say it. It's that they just didn't have the balls to, and you did. And they were showing support because, yes, this guy said the thing I was thinking. They wish they had said it. Probably a bunch of people wish they had said it. But either their platform wasn't big enough or they didn't have the balls, but they're glad someone said the thing they were thinking, and you were that guy. That's why they propped you up. That's why they watched your videos. That's why you have a career. You didn't indoctrinate anyone. You didn't change anyone's mind. You didn't fucking groom an audience. You simply spoke for the little guy, for an unheard demographic that needed to be heard. You were the voice of criticism that they wanted. That's it. That's all you were.
Not. It's super irresponsible and shitty. I am very insecure about my ability to create interesting content or like entertain. It's gotten better over the years, but it's something that I have struggled with constantly. And it's one of the reasons why I
seems like you've struggled with your identity and what you want to be.
This hurtful content, you know, I ended up pivoting it into other things because I felt bad about it, like innately. But it's still something that I struggle with, and I don't want you to interpret that as an excuse, but I hope that that is relatable to other creators who maybe struggle with the same thing. I'm not confident in my ability to entertain, and
this is all 100% self-serving. I mean, yes, he's apologizing for it, but it's not because like it's not to get his audience back. Like, he's apologizing for it because he feels bad. He looked back on his old content and he's embarrassed by it. He hates that he made it. It's all very personal to him. This isn't like somebody asked for an apology. This isn't to appease a certain group. This is 100% self-serving. A lot of people blame his change on his girlfriend. He's dating a OnlyFans girl, cam girl. I think she might also live stream, but her name's Anissa. Which you can look her up. I'm not watching any of her content here. That girl is just mind-numbingly boring and cringe, and I can't stand watching her. And because of that, a lot of people think that she's the one that changed iDubbbz. She ruined him. No, this is him. He is a grown man who made his own choices. She's not with him on camera, fucking guiding him. She's not standing behind the camera with fucking cue cards. This is 100% him. iDubbbz just sucks. Okay, he's just a pussy who probably got a lot of hate. He probably got a lot of backlash from those videos, and he simply folded under the pressure. He's a coward. He's a coward. He folded under the pressure, and And now he's desperately looking for acceptance because he realizes being accepted by a group of people who are okay with saying the N-word, which remember, all of it's okay or none of it is. The people that were okay with the stuff he was saying in that video are people he doesn't like. That's what he realized. He realized that those people are mostly right-wing. I don't agree with them politically. I don't like them. How do I get the other side to accept me? And that's what this is. This wasn't a my wife made me do it. This wasn't a, you know what, she talked me into it and she was right. She was helping him work on some of those content cop videos. So it's not like she even disagreed with what he was doing. It was very clear he was allowed to do his own thing while she was doing her own thing, and their content didn't cross over and it didn't affect each other. She was okay with it then. She's okay with what he's doing now. So if she was okay with him then, what reason would she have to change him? She didn't change him. He desperately wanted to not be associated with a political party that he doesn't agree with. That's all this is.
And I think if I had to rely on my personality to entertain people, that I wouldn't have any amount of success. And that is really hard to come to terms with. I was being very...
He left out so much context, and I can't believe he's now an orbiter. I think this, well, I think this was before he became an orbiter. I think what, all right, so I'm trying to establish a timeline before we get to his content cop on Ethan. I haven't seen that yet. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a shit show. This, I believe, is the start of that. You've heard people talk about the right-wing pipeline, how you can, you know, watch a video and then they recommend another video and then you start watching content creators and then you get sucked in and now boom, you're in the pipeline, you're in the Joe Rogan verse, you're in the Jordan Peterson verse, the Shapiro verse, and next thing you know, you're following Sam Hyde and all of that stuff happens. This is the start of that. I think this is the start of him going down the left-wing pipeline, is him desperately not wanting to be associated with the right, and then the positive feedback he got from this, from the left, and the attention he got from other creators, because he probably got those creators he's now orbiting, reaching out to him, and this is how it started. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because, you know, I didn't think it was too serious, and I thought that people were going to see that I had good intentions. You know,
they did,
but
they did.
So silly, you know. Casual
no,
racism is still
that's
racism.
Exactly what happened.
No.
You were right. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. You made a free speech argument. That's fine. A lot of people understood the jokes and the points you were trying to make. And yeah, they did think it was silly. My God, you were in a green bodysuit. I promise you no one took you seriously when you did the jokey shit. People knew you were joking. This is him just desperately trying to distance himself from the right.
Casual bigotry is still bigotry. And, you know, I said a lot of things that I look back at and I cringe now, and I'm like, that is an awful thing to say. It doesn't matter what my intentions are. Like, if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people. And, you know...
I won't spoil it. Yes, this is prior to the new vid. This and his interview with the guy from Smosh on the right. Yeah, like, I'm not going to watch all of this stuff. I'm hitting the key points. So I wanted to cover his apology. I may not even cover the whole thing. I didn't realize this thing was 17 minutes long. Jesus Christ. Does he got the split in channels into categories? Yeah, being bigoted. I don't feel like it represents me anymore. I'm sorry. Okay, and then he goes into... Okay, so we'll watch up to... Yeah, that's only 6 minutes then. We'll watch up to I'm sorry. So when he goes to talk about his speech... Yeah, when he goes into... And then the rest of it looks like it covers the Creator Clash stuff. The boxing event that he did. That was the only other successful thing he did, was the original Creator Clash. The second one was a shit show, but it's a story for another time, as they say. So we'll watch another few minutes of this. Just trying to establish, like, the content he made in the past, why Content Cop is a big deal, what changed between the original Content Cop and this one, so we have some context before watching the new Content Cop. And we'll probably also watch Ethan's response to the new Content Cop. Not the whole thing, because it's like an hour long, but after I watch iDubbbz Content Cop, I'll know which key points I want to see Ethan's reaction to, and we'll try to find that reaction. Watch that real quick, and that'll kind of give us a full picture of where we are so far. There we go.
Who the fuck knows what my intentions are? Like, sarcasm and like jokiness and jokey tone only goes so far, especially over the internet. Even in real life, that's like an impossible thing to know with 100% certainty. I've just always had this
I'll
dumb
disagree with that.
philosophy that I'm not responsible for, you know, my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out. And
You're not
that's
responsible for your audience.
stupid, and it's led to a
No, that's not stupid. That's 100% correct. You have an audience of millions upon millions of people. You are not responsible for each and every one of their individual actions. That is an absolutely retarded take. That is an absolutely retarded way to make content. You are not responsible for your audience. There are millions of people that watch you. 100% of them are not going to be sane. The bigger your audience, the bigger the chance. Just like playing the lottery, the more tickets you buy, the better the chance you have of winning. The more people in your audience, the bigger the chance that one of them's going to be a fucking nut job. And they're going to go out and do some fucking crazy shit, and they may even shout you out when you do it. Does that make you responsible for it? Absolutely fucking not. That person was deranged before they met you. They were deranged after watching your content, and they'll still be deranged if they never saw you. Like, you're not responsible for that in any shape, form, or fashion.
a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes. And I just want to make it clear that I am absolutely responsible for my audience. And, you know, I guess if
That's
you
a
wanna,
terrible precedent
you know,
to set.
Look out for people who are red flags. It's definitely people who had my mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does. I know
That's 90% of content creators on YouTube. So 90% of content creators on YouTube are red flags. Moist Critical doesn't think he's responsible for his audience. Is he a red flag? Like Philip DeFranco doesn't. Is he a red flag? You know, there are plenty of, like, Mr. Beast doesn't. Like, there are plenty of normal content creators. Like, we can even get out of the drama sphere and just look at, like, Nick Merckx and XQC and, you know, just gaming creators. Like, no. No one should think they're responsible for their audience. That is an unrealistic goal to set for yourself as a creator. You are setting yourself up for failure if you do that. The bigger you get, the more likely something bad is going to happen. And then when it does, you've set yourself up so that everybody can fucking knock you down because you've already told them that you're responsible. You've given them a weapon they can use against you. This is retarded. This is retarded speak. This is brain rot.
I know that this apology isn't enough. I've clearly done a lot of damage. You know, these videos have been up for a long time and have accumulated millions of views. I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with, and I expect to. I've profited off of this bigoted content for years, and I've made a successful career out of it. And
Yeah.
that's not right.
That's fine.
I think that this is only a step in the right direction, and I know that a lot more needs to be done.
So this is where we go into straight up pandering territory. Disavow everything I did before, and everything I do going forward meets your guidelines, people on the left. I'm playing by your rules now. Please accept me. That's all this is. This apology is 100% self-serving. I don't believe he actually feels bad about the content. I believe this is all just a way to get accepted into that orbiter club that he's in, a way to distance himself from the right and get accepted by the left. And El Poi, that worked, but my God, it's cringe.
To even approach a life that I would think would be like acceptable. I am running ads on this video, and any
how about that?
revenue generated from this video, I'm going to match
Oh, that's
and
right. He
donate
does
to
it
an
for
organization
charity.
that, you know, would have been particularly affected by the type of.
And this is how you know this is self-serving and just done to pander to the left to get them to accept him. Because that's one of their requirements when you make an apology video, to prove how sincere you are, donate to a charity. And all the charities listed are causes that they would want him to donate to. He didn't have to do this part. He could have just made an apology video if that's how he really felt. This was a brownie points for the left move. That's all this was.
Rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel. And again, this isn't the end of what I'm doing. This is just the start. I don't feel like a lot of this content represents me as a person, at least not anymore. There was a time where it probably perfectly represented me because I was a nasty, apathetic, insecure person. Now that I don't feel like it represents me and I want to distance myself from it and keep it.
That's right. I was a nasty, insecure, immature, 26-year-old person, 27-year-old person, but I'm 31 now. I'm 30, 31. Like that's roughly yeah. It's been a few years, guys. I've grown. I learned empathy at the ripe old age of 30. Jesus Christ.
From, indoctrinating more people. I'd like to unlist the videos so that people, can access them still for whatever, purposes they might want to do that for. But it's not being proliferated on the website. I feel like that's the best solution, at least for the time being.
In short, kind of like the money they bring in, because people still watch them to this day. And if I unlist them, then I get the brownie points of removing them. But people who just type in the name of it in Google will find a Reddit post or a message board with it. And it's very easily accessible for those who still want to see it. And people will still post it and spread it like the plague. Yeah, this all seems very intentional to me.
And for anyone who liked those videos, I
Right
want
here,
this video to be an example and a lesson
talking
for
to me
you.
now? Oh.
You can like content, but you can also think that it's irresponsible and it's
I
hurting
don't think
other
it was,
people.
Though. Don't think it did, though.
Just tap into that part of your brain that's saying like, oh, okay, it's probably not that important that this video stays online, because truthfully, I've seen it, I've experienced the content, but it's done a lot of damage. We can just let it. We can let it.
I'll
go.
disagree with that part.
I'm sorry.
And some of the people he did content cops on also disagree with that point. In fact, Tana, again, thanked him for making the video on him. As she says, it helped her make herself better as a person. It was the slap in the face of reality that she needed. She needed to be knocked down a peg. And while she was mad about it at the time, looking back on it, she said this in a podcast I'm not going to look up. You can find it if you want, but just Google Tana addressing Content Cop podcast. I'm not sure what the name of the podcast was, but I remember seeing the clip for it. It's her and another girl, and she explains that, you know what, I'm not even mad at him. I'm glad that he made that on me. I look back on it now as a turning point in my career, because it was the slap in the face of reality that I needed to get my ego in check. And I don't think I'd be the person I was today if not for iDubbbz Content Cop on me. So it had the exact opposite effect of what you're describing, where it hurt people and where it was harmful and it doesn't need to exist. It did what it was supposed to do. It taught a lesson, and someone grew and made themselves better because of it. I like to think that was your original point. That still doesn't make you look like a bad person for doing all the edgy stuff, but you look like someone with a little bit of tough love who gave that dose of reality. That's why people liked you. And now you're this.
Sorry to everyone that I made Content Cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, and that's fine, but I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
Truth.
I particularly
Wasn't
want
hate,
to
it was
apologize
truth.
to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online, and that's deplorable behavior. It's so stupid. I'm also sorry to all the black
Please like
viewers
me, lefties.
and minority
Please.
groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay.
Yes,
And
that's correct.
That's just so dangerous and stupid. I have made
factual.
content that I'm proud of over the years. It hasn't been as consistent as maybe I'd like it to have been, but there is a lot of content that I think had a net positive on the world. And I'm going to strive to
Yeah, he's going to talk about
continue
his
on that trend.
documentaries and
But again,
creator
I'm not,
clash.
I'm-
That's what he's referencing.
I'm
here.
absolutely going to continue to make mistakes, but I want the mistakes to
Yeah,
be
Creator Clash 2 was a
lot
huge one.
smaller
It's $250,000
and a lot less
mistake.
Serious. I also want to give some clarity to the post-fight speech.
Okay, so that's where we're going to stop. If y'all want to see the rest of the video, I can Google this and find it. It's iDubbbz. I miss the old iDubbbz. It's on his channel. Got 7 million views. It was not received well. This was not received well. iDubbbz just completely backpedaling on everything he'd said and basically saying, I don't believe in free speech. I don't believe it's everything okay or nothing is okay. I believe we should police speech because it's dangerous and I'm hurting people. Yeah, he went all in on the lefty side of things, which leads us to his content cop on Ethan Klein because he made some videos with Ethan back in the day. They were friends. Ethan became friends. So here's how I think this happened. Ethan became friends with Hasan Piker. They did a podcast called Leftovers together, Ethan and Hasan Piker. And as each episode of that podcast went on, Hasan does what Hasan does, and he became more and more extreme with his views, so he kind of snaked his way in there. He seems very reasonable at first, and then the more you talk to him, you realize, oh shit, we're not on the same page. You believe some wild stuff. And it got to a point where Ethan started calling it out on the podcast and telling him that's crazy. They fought to the point that it ended their friendship and the podcast. And Hasan has done nothing but spread misinformation about Ethan and hit piece after hit piece on him, leading to Ethan, H3H3, to make a content nuke on Hasan, basically exposing all of his propaganda, all of his lies. And it's not even like Hasan tries to hide this. You can find multiple clips of him saying he is a self-admitted propagandist. He is pushing a narrative and spreading propaganda by his own admittance. All Ethan did was shine a light on all of that. Hasan then refuses to watch it on his stream, refuses to engage with it, and just continue to spread more and more propaganda on it. Now, you got iDubbbz, who was seemingly caught in the middle of this because he's friends with Ethan and now has become friends with Hasan since his apology video. And I'm guessing even through Ethan, he became friends with Hasan. That's how they probably got into that inner circle and started talking. And when their whole beef started happening, it looked at first like iDubbbz was just going to step aside and sit on the sidelines. Like, hey, I don't want to get in the middle of this thing between two of my friends, which was reasonable, still a bit cowardly, but reasonable. When two of your friends are fighting, you should probably like tell the one that's wrong he's wrong and try to help end the beef so you can bring everybody back together instead of just stepping aside and watching them destroy themselves. That's what I would say would make you a good friend. But also saying I don't know which side to agree with, so I just want out of it. That's also reasonable. That it's not your fight. You don't have to step in the middle of it as a friend. You can just be there and support each one, or just hang out with each one. And if they want to talk about it, be like, hey, I don't want to get in the middle of that. Let's just go do something else. Yeah, that's also perfectly acceptable. And it seemed like that's what he was going to do at first. And then out of nowhere, iDubbbz drops a trailer on Twitter for Content Cop Returns. For the first time since before his apology. For the first time since he was edgy, iDubbbz. He's going to drop a new Content Cop. And everybody was speculating on who this would be on because he didn't say at the time. Oh, is he going to be on H3H3? A lot of people said no. Because of the fact that he bowed out of that argument and tried to take, the sit on the fence route where I'm not agreeing with Hasan, but I'm not agreeing with Ethan. They were like, nah, he wouldn't go all in on Ethan like that. He doesn't want to get involved. So then they're like, well, maybe it's on Sam Hyde. Well, okay, well, that would also make sense. He's got beef with Sam Hyde. That would probably be pretty cool and would please the lefties. And remember, the lefties think there are no bad tactics. There are only bad targets. They're fine with you being edgy and a piece of shit if you're doing it to someone on the right. Just don't do it to anyone on the left. Yeah, there's no bad tactics, just bad targets. So, could have been Sam Hyde. I personally thought for a minute there, like, okay, this is going to be a Content Cop, that this is what he should have done instead of the apology video, is to do a Content Cop on himself to prove some kind of point and to reintroduce the series and set it up so that he can then do stuff on Sam Hyde and other people. That the only way to bring this series back and to continue to do it is to cleanse the palate, wipe the slate clean, so to speak, by content nuking yourself first so that people know where you stand and what it's going to be going forward. And then there's no backlash from a fan group or anybody from another creator at least, because you're the subject of the attack. If you want to call it an attack, you're the subject of the criticism. Now, true, your old fans will hate it and still criticize you, but they were already doing that anyway. So there was really nothing to lose by doing it on yourself. You'll get a bunch of views. You'll get a bunch of lefties hyped for, oh shit, he's going to go after right-wing people now. You could even sprinkle some little hints of that in there. And then you could start going after Sam Hyde, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson. You could start going after all these right-wing people and bring the series back. I thought maybe that's the direction he would go. But it looks like the worst case scenario is what he chose to do and show that he has gone full dick rider for Hasan Piker. And he is doing Content Cop H3. That is where we're at. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to watch Ethan's response to this, or at least parts of it. If you want to see the whole thing, you'll go to his channel. But here it is. Before I even get started on this, because this is Content Cop, first Content Cop in years, since I think like 2016. So it's been like 7 or 8 years. 9 years, maybe. But I just want to point out this one thing. Just so we have context on what we are about to watch. This is a Content Cop on Ethan, which is supposed to, if we're going by the standards set by previous Content Cops, look at the content of an individual and criticize their content. Call out any hypocrisy, that kind of stuff, and basically just critique the stuff that they're putting on the internet. Remember, it is a Content Cop, not a hit piece. We're not going after an individual person for who they are. We're going after the content they make. But I have a feeling that's not what this is going to be, because in the description of the video, it says, thanks for watching the H3 Content Cop. Thanks to the creators who helped put this together. And then he lists all the creators he collabed with to make this. So right at the top of that list is Hasan, then is Denims, Shonda Black, Frogan, Kirk Honda, Noah Samson, and Matt Lieb. These are the most far left-leaning people on the fucking internet. It is Hasan's entire orbiter circle, his inner circle right here. And they all helped him make it. So with that level of collab, and with that many people involved, I can only guess that this video isn't something he made overnight. That he was secretly working on this video with these creators and working on this content when he's making videos acting like he doesn't want to get involved. So those were just completely disingenuous from the start. He was doing this, he's been working on this behind the scenes for possibly months. So, if not longer. Like, there's no way this came together overnight. This is mountains of information and content creators and Zoom meetings or Discord calls, and a lot of homework, a lot of research went into this. So here we go. Content Cop H3. Let's see it. Let's fucking see it. All right.
Destination, the beach is surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
Fucking thing in our defense, like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far, because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
Yeah, so this was the trailer he put out on Twitter. It's just this opening scene where he grabs it was 15 seconds of him playing the music from the old thing and grabbing his Content Cop. All right, so there he is, suiting up. So right off the rip, it's 100% political. Like, the content he chose to use in that opening of Ethan fucking, like, complaining and stuff, it's definitely the kind of clip that Hasan would use to propagandize. So it's not even about, like, Ethan's content. It's just about his political views. Like, that's been established right off the jump. All right. Here, I'm going to play some COD Zombies while we watch this. Because I'll play some COD Zombies while we watch this. Because this is going to take a while. So we're going to multitask. All right, here we go. Yeah, so he's talking about, and he's talking about the group of people that are harassing him, aka Hasan fans. This is a Hasan Dick Rider video. That's all this is. What, have you gained weight? It don't fit anymore? It's probably the worst opening skit for any other Content Cops I've seen. That's just you smoking instead of out shooting guns.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan broadcast coming to you live.
Wow, immediately
from
starts with
a
Hasan Piker.
cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important.
Look, he's showing the lighter
I've
side of
finally
Hasan.
done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm not.
Did you watch it on stream? Did he watch it on stream? No. No. I'm going to point that out like right off the gate. Here, I guarantee you he's watched this video on his stream and praised the fuck out of it, but people begged him for a long time since the content nuke on Hasan that H3 did to react to that on stream, to watch it. He'll react to all sorts of other stuff, but react to this and address the criticism. And he didn't do it. So I think I would have seen a video of him reacting to it. I think that would have been blowing up all over the clips pages. I've seen no video of that. So I'm guessing he's going to say he watched it off stream, right? Which is something we all suspected you did anyway. But okay, well, at least he's kind of addressing it now. Or are you going to be a coward and hide behind iDubbbz and let iDubbbz address it for you and just agree with the stuff that he says? Let's see which direction this goes.
I'm not going to call it context puke as I normally do because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context.
Okay.
Everything was correct. I am
Is he being sarcastic?
an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite.
Yeah, he's being sarcastic.
It's true. Most importantly,
sarcasm.
Ethan is more attractive than me, both
Yep, there it
physically
is. Sarcasm.
and also mentally. I've been lying about
Oh, you're so
everything,
edgy, bro.
including my glasses. They're fake.
Oh,
he was
ooh.
right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was
When's
right
the
about
Hasan
that,
stand-up
too.
tour?
How did he know everything? How?
Because Jewish people can see the future.
Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up.
Ethan.
Oh, you.
Wake up.
This isn't even part of his stream. This isn't even part of his stream. You literally made the intro for iDubbbz. Yeah, so here's your collab. If you need any more proof that this is just 100% to fucking dick ride Hasan and get into his inner circle, you're letting him create the narrative and like set the stage for you. Oh my God.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Yep.
Time to be awake, Ethan.
Oh my God.
This is no
He's gone full fucking dick rider.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
He flew everybody out to his house to make this. Are you fucking shitting me? How long did this take? Like this was all going on behind the scenes while fucking iDubbbz is pretending like he doesn't want to get involved. Oh my God. This is their big own to Ethan. And they're using iDubbbz as a vehicle for it and just completely shitting on the legacy of Content Cop and what it's supposed to be. All right, I'm locked in. This is going to be an hour of fucking disingenuous propaganda. This is an Ethan hit piece. This isn't a Content Cop. This isn't a review of his content. This is a takedown video because you think that's what Ethan made on you. My God, could you people be more disingenuous and butthurt?
Ethan, wake up. Wake up. Since anyone? Just wake up.
Wake up.
Oh my God, this is so cringe.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
Get Jabba the Hutt off my screen.
React content.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's telling you to wake up.
So he's just straight up burning this bridge forever.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
Okay, I want to see Ethan's response to this opening. Jesus Christ, he just deep-throated Hasan Piker's... Is that how you sucked Hasan Piker's dick? Sweet taste of Hasan. How's it taste? iDubbbz. Okay, so iDubbbz is just going full cuck mode for fucking Hasan. The dude who used to be the champion of free speech and the guy who would tell it like it is, the honest critic, has gone full fucking dick sucker mode. Fuck me, dude. I have never been more disappointed in a creator in my fucking life. Yeah, I want to see Ethan's response to this opening. Oh, man. We may be watching more of Ethan's response than I thought that we would. Some tells me there's going to be a lot in here I want to see him address. Fuck me. This is going to be an all-night stream. All right, lock in, boys. We're in it for the long haul. Wonder how much collab the stuff they're actually going to do. Was it just the opening, or are they just going to make cameos throughout the whole fucking thing?
I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3.
Bullshit! That entire opening and the list of collab people that you've had, the amount of time that this thing had, there is no way you weren't planning this for a while. I'm just wondering, like, was it you that went to Hasan, or was it Hasan that came to you to give you the idea? Like, how did this work?
It sounds very stupid even saying that.
Yeah, because it is unbelievable.
iDubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hasan Piker. Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this...
Yeah, so there you go. Poison the well right from the beginning. How crazy is the idea that you do one on both sides since you're supposed to be sitting on the fence? I think you'd even be forgiven for that since you set the stage early that you were friends with both sides. You didn't want to be involved. People thought you were going to sit on the fence. But if you're going to get involved, fine. Then, critique both sides of the argument. Nope, you went all in on one side. And now you're going to set the stage as if it's completely unreasonable and crazy. The sheer notion of criticizing Hasan versus Ethan. No, it has to be only Ethan. Right? Oh my God, dude.
In 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's
you
not
have
me
lost the
losing
plot.
It's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
How is that him attacking first? He literally says in that statement that other people, the friends that he's had for years, aren't helping him. That Hasan Piker, like, he's being attacked by Hasan Piker's... Are you going to add that context? That it's Hasan Piker's community that was attacking him? And he asked Hasan, hey, can you say something to your sycophants? To your fucking stands? I'm getting death threats over here, dude. Like, you're responsible for this. I know we just watched an apology where I said you're not responsible for the actions of your fans, and that's true to an extent. But when you're not at least disavowing their actions, like, the least you can do is disavow and say, hey, don't. But when you're defending them, okay, now you're responsible because you're basically giving them the green light to do more. How the fuck is that not the first punch thrown in this fight?
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years.
Here we go.
So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hasan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hasan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their
That's
dick
how it started.
once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until
Yeah, that's how
they
it started.
actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I
Okay.
would say that Hasan was
see
very
how-
well equipped to talk about that.
And we're just going to completely reframe how that entire thing happened so that Hasan's the victim. He was... it's not even that Hasan's the victim. It's that he knows more than Ethan. Okay, he's well read on this topic, and Ethan isn't. Even though Ethan has family that lives there, and you don't, and Ethan has ties to there, and he's been there, and he's got, personal involvement in it. You know more because you read shit on the internet.
Topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, that dance he invented was so kick-ass.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
I was just eating the toppings, and the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I don't know if you can make that joke in 2021.
I mean, he's still going to make jokes. It's a
Sensitive
comedy
I think it's a good
podcast.
analogy.
That
It's
was
a
the
powerful image.
entire premise.
Ethan was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine, you know. We don't expect Ethan
Yeah,
to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky...
He's trying to change the topic and to make light of it because it's a comedy podcast. He's trying not to get into things that serious. The whole point of the podcast was that, hey, we both hate the right. He thought that Hasan was just a lefty like him, and we can just kind of poke fun at them and make a comedy show. Everything doesn't have to be all doom and gloom and serious all the fucking time. And then when Hasan tried to make it into that, he's trying to make some jokes and to divert. These are all just common comedy tactics that most comedians will do on their podcasts, at least until Joe Rogan made it popular to dive into that stuff, to avoid that shit. I don't think Ethan wanted to talk about this on Leftovers at all. And I'm pretty sure that Hasan didn't go over it with him before he just brought it up.
Situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow Hasan. Hasan is strictly a political streamer. So this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this massive progressive audience that Ethan has, you know, adopted over the years.
Okay, so what else could that statement mean? I'm not super dialed into this stuff either, but I've heard that one explained, and I can read a fucking map. And if we're going from the river to the sea, what's between that river and that sea? If they're supposed to own everything from the river to the sea, what's between that river and that sea? Are we gonna show a map here, iDubbbz? We gonna go over that? I wonder how much of this did Hasan and his cronies write for you? Is it like, are any of these even your thoughts anymore, or are you just a puppet? Are you just reading the cue cards? Just say the line, Bart. Oh my God. I've never been more disappointed in a creator in my life.
They're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers, he's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, like crazy, you know, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back and forth with his liberal...
I knew he was going to bring up this point, so Ethan apologized for this because they admittedly didn't do their research. They knew surface level stuff about this guy and thought he was a good guy. They thought that he was the only like dissenting voice. And it turns out that he's kind of a piece of shit too. And when they found out the stuff that the guy had done and people were like, so you agree with that? He immediately said, no, I disavow that. I didn't realize that. He apologized for it. He did what you should do in that situation. He owned up to the thing he said. He admitted that, oh, yeah, I didn't do my homework. My ignorance was showing, and I apologize. I'll do better next time. What more do you want? Like, I don't understand. But let me guess, you're going to frame this in a way that makes it seem like he did it maliciously, right? Like it was all intentional? Is that what we're about to do? Fuck me, dude.
Audience,
this was written by Hasan.
People online, progressive content creators, Hasan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits. And everybody.
Are you going to play the full context of these?
Even though he looks like Milhouse. Fucking dork.
Are you going to play the full context of these? No. He's looking for fights? These are all people who called him out and who talked shit to him. These are all people who threw the first punch, dude. What do you mean he's looking for fights? Is he just not supposed to address criticism or, you know, online harassment and bullying, that thing you apologized for? Is he not supposed to address that either now?
Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no?
No,
not go there?
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hasan...
Oh, so it's his fault.
Keeping
let's
to myself
let's hear this.
many nice things to
How
say.
is it Ethan's
maybe
fault?
if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
No, you
So
have
that's
burnt
my
that bridge
approach.
with this,
I've
buddy.
occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like iDubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism, and also he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there.
Yeah, if you're gonna sit on the fence, sit on the
video
fence.
Editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would
Until
be
he got
occasional
radicalized by
comments
Hasan.
where I'd be like,
Translation.
I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like
That's
it.
what happened with the
but
Leftovers
fair
podcast.
enough.
I guess I just miss my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th of this year. Now my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
They're
Ethan
pretty funny.
at some point discovers
I guess jokes aren't
that
okay now.
iDubbbz former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information, and that would be horrible.
So you think that's what's happening? You honestly think that all of the harassment, all of the stuff that Ethan has come in his way is because he sought it out? That he told his editors that he got on fucking Twitter doom scrolling, hyper, searching for Hasan and seeing, are they talking about me? Are they talking about me? Like an obsessive ex-girlfriend. And then told his editors, his staff on his podcast to, hey, the content I want you looking for is content where Hasan makes fun of me. This is the only thing I want to talk about on my podcast and I want to focus on. That's what you think happened. Or was it that he was just trying to move on from it and go about his daily thing, which I guess we're not going to show any of the other podcasts in between where he clearly tried to do that and he tried to talk about other topics, and then his chat would get bombarded with that shit again and he just reached a breaking point. I guess we're not going to show any of that context. No. It's Ethan seeking it out. Dude, what the fuck?
They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit, when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person?
So you were supposed to be the friend who was kind of playing both sides, who was the neutral party in the middle. And since he doesn't want to talk to Hasan and Hasan doesn't want to talk to him, they're both talking to you. So Ethan trusts you with something and he's like, hey, here's what's going on. And he's trying to get you to see both sides because he knows Hasan might actually talk to you. He ain't going to talk to me. He ain't going to listen to me, but he might listen to you. Maybe you can talk some sense into him. That's what I'm getting from this. And instead of taking that information and being that friend and going, yeah, I guess it is a little extreme, or hey, I'll talk to him, or just being honest with him. Instead, you secretly start working with Hasan to make this hit piece. This is more than a hit piece. This is more than disingenuous. This is more than propaganda. This is more than bridge burning. This is malicious. This is the worst kind of way to end a friendship. Isn't just you not wanting to be friends in anymore, but you've gone full enemy mode. You've gone full Majin Vegeta. Like, you're ready to burn this mother down. For what? For Hasan? Like, I don't understand. Like, how did you get your head this far up Hasan's ass?
On the Reddit.
Fuck me,
posting
dude.
This in the first place. If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am.
He was. He addressed multiple times how there are still some crossover with his community and Hasan's community from their time working together, and that he still had some Hasan fans clearly in his community, and that they're saying some unhinged shit and calling him out for things that don't need calling out, and like making mountains out of molehills. That's probably what he thought this was, and he probably was right. He did address this. He did address the Hasan fans in his community and the extreme shit that they were doing, threatening people, posting propaganda, misleading disinformation, all of that. He addressed all of that.
I'm willing to admit
It's the crux
that
of
my
his
former
complaint in the
editor
first
was
place.
being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan
Oh,
and Hila
but
are
I'm not the
doing
bad guy
same
here.
shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcast streams where
Absolutely no context for any of that. Just one word. Pedophile. Well, why did Ethan call them a pedophile? Is this just shit talking? Or did they do something that might lead down that road? Like, no context. One of them was just him saying CEO of Twitch. What about the CEO of Twitch? My God, are we riding? Do you plan to start streaming on Twitch there, iDubbbz? You gotta fucking start sucking Dan Clancy's dick? Like, there's no context behind any of that at all. Those are the worst snippets I've ever seen.
Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying
Deserved.
shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit, and that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening?
He didn't say your feed. He said showing up on his feed. He said showing up right there on my feed. And you're not, he's seeing the stuff you're doing. He's seeing the stuff that they're doing. And if he's tagging you in it, it's showing up on your feed. That's how the feed works. If he put out something tagging you, yeah, he doesn't know everyone you follow, but he knows that if I tag him, he should see it. That's how fucking Twitter works, iDubbbz.
For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use links.
That's where that would show up.
For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked?
Is that what you
Hassan,
think
by the
this
way,
is?
Thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me
Wow,
ask you,
the
Elliot,
disingenuous framing.
These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay.
I'll
on
believe
your
that.
stream.
Deserved.
Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you have said and done, and I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit.
Yes.
I'm spineless. I'm
Yes.
cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
No, you know, my God, the framing. You were doing way worse than that, and you know it. 23. You were doing way worse than that, and you know it. It's not because you followed him. It's because you keep engaging with him and kind of passively aggressively agreeing with him. The point here is that if you're going to sit this one out, fucking sit this one out. But that's not what you were doing. You were cheerleading Hasan and clearly trying to get his attention and hoping that Ethan wouldn't get pissed in the process. Then you got called out, and now you're angry. That's what happened here.
because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually...
And you crashed out. It's a normal response to having everyone around you tell you that water ain't fucking wet. When everybody acts like you're the crazy one for saying the obvious thing. Yeah, that's a normal person response, is extreme fucking frustration that everyone treats you like you're crazy for saying the thing that's true. And obviously true. For pointing out what's right in front of you, and then they're telling you the thing you saw ain't what you just saw. No, we didn't see the thing you saw. No, water ain't wet. What do you mean it's raining? It's a sunny day out. During a hurricane.
Like the #1 type of harassment I got was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I probably done and stood by iDubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes
it's true.
Feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll say this.
No.
I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on...
Saying that's what friends do, is they support you. They don't always have to agree with you, but if you're passionate about something and they tell you that they don't agree with you and you're just dead set on doing a thing and they can't stop you, then the least they can do is show you some support and be there to catch you when you fall if they think you're going to fail. Everyone's done that with their friends. I've had plenty of friends who were about to do a thing that I'm like, oh, this is going to end poorly for him. And then I try to tell him, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. But he's dead set on it and he's going to do it. And sometimes you have to let your child touch the hot stove to learn what it feels like to be burned. They don't understand what hot means until they've been burned. You don't know what a burn is until you feel it. Sometimes you got to let them touch the fucking stove, man.
On the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation
Fair.
that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think...
Yes, but empathizing with it while also still being okay with it happening is the problem, iDubbbz. You can't be like, yeah, that sucks. Well, can you tell Hasan to stop? You're his friend. He'll listen to you. No. I mean, it sucks that it's happening, but is it that big a deal? Like you can't be like, well, it sucks that it's happening, but I don't want to do anything. And then cheerlead it. Like, that's the problem, is that you're seemingly okay with it while at the same time admitting it's bad. I'd say that's even worse than what Hasan is doing, which is just outright denial. You're acknowledging the bad thing and then still doing nothing. That's why you got called a coward. That's what he meant by you're a coward. Not because you said something on Twitter. There's no way you're this stupid. This is definitely Hasan propaganda just being shoved down your fucking throat. Like, I'm convinced that Hasan wrote most of this.
There's
Had to
something
have.
positive to get out of the conversation. But he
Because he won't address it himself, so he's going to use iDubbbz as a puppet.
Say something about my former editor and denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hasan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years.
Why does that matter?
At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing.
Oh, God. Don't tell me you're on his side.
He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just, like, disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like, of the lowest order.
I'm seeing
I never
how
even
much
stood
of
by
this
him
he's
when
about to
talked
leave
bad
out.
about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember
never
when
said
he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
And
like
I was
that.
supposed to be like,
To be clear, Adam's not some random internet person just talking shit online. Like, he met Ethan's mom. Like, he made it personal. He was involved with their family. Like this goes beyond the internet. And the things he was saying were just false. Just outright false. That they were malicious. He was right to call it out. He is a piece of shit. He was fucking content farming.
cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do we forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn of Satan?
It's disgusting. It's
And
a
I
piece
mean,
of shit of a human.
it's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just
no, it's not the
who
same.
ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we
No,
strongly
that's the
think about
victims,
things
'cause
that are
they-
said, even
they
about
kind of
our
are.
enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet, unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not.
I would guess that the difference is Olivia really did want to stay out of it, and she got drug into it. She wasn't out there tweeting about it. She wasn't trying to get involved. She wasn't doing what you were doing and pretending to play both sides. I would say that that's probably the difference, and probably why she gets quote-unquote the pass.
Not do anything. And
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it...
No, you have to be honest. Instead of being a Weasley fucking liar, dude. Weasley fucking liar. Which is what this is. This isn't a content cop. This isn't a critique. You're a Weasley fucking little liar, dude.
Because
To
Ethan
quote
is
your
afraid
best friend,
of
your new
wrongful
lover.
termination accusations and lawsuits.
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to
If they have a
Olivia
role in
and
it, they
how
probably should
Olivia's
acknowledge it.
essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa are spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees.
Maybe Hasan didn't write as much of this as I thought. I think his wife's feelings got hurt, and he got a little pressure. I think his wife's feelings got hurt, and it affected his marriage. His wife's pressuring him.
Under the
Wonder.
bus. Like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Wait, that depends on what his job was. That depends on what his job was. Your job as an editor is to edit the content. So if something's not working and you think it would be bad content, then it would be your job as an editor to say, maybe we don't use this bit, maybe we use this bit. That's what an editor does. That's what editors have always done. Even back in the days of newspapers and magazines, we can only fit so much content into this. Back then, it was a newspaper. We only have so many pages we can print. We need to find out what the best content is. And in your case, it's a podcast. We can only, podcasts can only be so long. We can only fit so much content in this week, and we got so much stuff here. This segment kind of ruins the flow. Maybe we cut this out. Maybe, yeah. That's called editing. It's what an editor does.
Friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows.
It's a fair point.
I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide.
Here's where the politics come.
They've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not going to fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Do we have that
I
one?
mean, just the other day, BB fired a really good guy.
Yeah, we're going to cut to this clip again. Again, he apologized for this one. He admitted he was wrong.
No.
Yeah. See, he even says there, he thought he was mean because he looked mean. Yeah, like he had misjudged the guy. And then he learned more about him later. He's basically admitting right up front that he doesn't know very much about the guy. It was kind of a content made in passing. He points out the wrong Reddit user. Which one? Where at? Where you already pointed that out? I'm getting a lot of this is probably written by Hasan and probably heavily influenced by his wife because I think his wife's feelings are hurt. I think iDubbbz was under a lot of pressure to make this and just finally caved. He was definitely radicalized, if you will, into making this. That's what it sounds like.
So yes, you caught us. We're not going to run to your defense when...
Yeah, because now it's us. Now it's about his wife.
We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
Do you guys remember when Content Cop had good jokes in it because they were edgy? In case you wondered what a Content Cop with, family-friendly jokes that aren't edgy looks like, that's it. That's what it looks like. We be following. We be following. Oh, it's fucked up that we be following on the platform where the entire point is to follow people. Ooh, comic gold there, iDubbbz. You've really made your point now. Oh my God, this is a farce. This is an insult to what Content Cop was and what it's supposed to be. Like, this is. I'm fucking floored. This is so far removed from the entire point of Content Cop to begin with. This is so far from the standards you set. I can't believe that we're using your most popular brand as a vehicle to push Hasan propaganda. Like, this is what it's been reduced to. Holy shit, man. Now I know how all the right-wingers feel when they see a gay person in a fucking Star Wars movie. Oh, Disney's just using it to push woke propaganda. This is what it feels like to actually have something that you hold dear and loved used for this. Like, I feel like Content Cop is being content raped right now. I was not just a huge fan of Content Cop. It's half the reason that I got involved or even like started streaming and got into this stuff in the first place, because I absolutely admired the original Content Cop. I was that guy going, finally, someone said the thing that we're all thinking. And then I said, wait, why do I have to wait for someone else to say it? I should start streaming and I should start just doing that. And I don't have time to do edited videos like he does. I got a wife, kids, a job. Like, I can stream and just put my ideas out there. But if I ever did decide to take YouTube that seriously, that's probably what I would do with it. I would probably do what the original Content Cop did. And just say the thing that we're all thinking. Just put it out there. This isn't fucking that. This is fucking disgraceful, dude. I feel like Content Cop is being content raped. Like this is hard. We are reaching the point right now, for me personally, where this is getting hard to watch. I know I'm distracting myself with a video game while I watch it, but even now, even then, even with the distraction, this is still, it's hard to even listen to. There were 2 Reddit users with Icarus in it. They told Nick DiOrio about it in chat. I'll have to look into that. We'll do all that after. I'm gonna finish the reaction first. Oh my god, dude. This is way worse than I thought it was gonna be. This is so Hasan coded. Like, it's so obvious that Hasan's best writing team got together and wrote a content cop for Ethan. Holy fuck, man.
So
The problem.
okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know. Yeah.
Which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims is actually participating in this whole child protection.
Yeah,
service
she's the
live,
worst.
Yeah.
Which I'll
And if
show you
you're
guys
friends with them, then you're seeing what they're
Oh,
saying.
I want to hear what he
You'll
says
notice
about
that
that
Ethan and
thing.
Hila start talking about this Denims character.
Yeah?
Originally,
Let's hear your thoughts on that
the
one.
complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends.
So we're just gonna not address the CPS thing at all? The exact reason he just said behind it? We're just not gonna bring that part up at all? Cool. If we don't talk about it, it didn't happen, right, guys?
Friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person, like we think Ethan.
Yeah,
and
he's
Hila
really not gonna address the
kind of a tricky
CPS
situation.
thing.
How can you possibly?
Because there is
think
no
that they're
defense for
both
that.
Good people at their core.
So just
People
don't
can
address
have
it.
Crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know. I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
Yeah, but the things Denham said weren't for internet clout and attention. They were to affect him in real life. They were the kind of things that led to people thinking it was okay to call CPS on fucking Ethan's children.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships.
That's fair.
that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle.
Oh, he is downplaying the
kind of
absolute
fucks
hell out of this.
But separately, yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna make you.
Oh, really? You know a lot of friendships where one of the friends convinced hundreds of thousands of people online to call CPS on the other friend? You know that? You know a bunch of friends where that's happened? And you're cool with that? Awesome. Awesome, Ethan. Sorry, Ian. God, I keep getting their names. It's a slip of the tongue. I know which is which, I promise.
You guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking.
Oh, this is the worst
best
part so
friend
far.
who's deep-throating
Holy
you to
shit.
The base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the daddy.
Did you really just make a deep throat cock reference in a video that you clearly made to deep throat Hasan's cock? This is so Hasan coded, it's crazy. This. Wow.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were
Just
texting
wow.
before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a...
Yeah, it sounds like a friend who's very upset that CPS got called on his children, and he wants to make sure that the people who are caught in, who are friends with both sides, aren't cool with that. Because if you're the kind of person who's cool with that, I wouldn't want to be friends with you anymore either. I got children. Ethan's honestly being a lot nicer than I would be in the situation if that happened between two of my friends. If one of my friends started posting stuff online to make it sound like I might be abusing my children, and then CPS gets called on my children. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking say something. You're damn right, I'm gonna fucking say something. This is what it sounds like when someone who doesn't have children gets caught in the middle of something with CPS. He doesn't see it as a big deal. He sees it as so not an issue, he won't even address it. No one with children would have this take. No one. Nobody.
Powerful villain would say.
It's a bunch of childless
So
people
funny
that
how
do
she
this.
Immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, "Oh, he doesn't work with us anymore."
Then
But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't.
Okay. Do you have
agree.
anything else to say for your friends though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy getting pulled into this mess.
So did it cross your mind to just contact Ethan then? And talk to him? Did that part cross your mind? Or are you leaving out some important context here? Because that sounds way too simple. I don't buy it.
And you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until...
You don't have to say you agree with them. I think all they wanted you to do is say you didn't agree with the other guy. Just disavow the stuff he's saying. That's all they wanted to know. I guess you'd call it a purity test. Like, have you been fully brainwashed? Have you drank the Kool-Aid? I need to know. I need to know that you're still a rational human being and you haven't joined the cult of Hasan. That's what it sounds like was happening there. And you failed the test. Welcome to the fucking cult of Hasan.
Until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now, but you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story.
Still hasn't mentioned the
I would have
CPS.
been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast.
I would be fine with you not calling me out for my behavior. I bet you would.
On my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
At least say something.
You mean like the harassment campaigns that H3 Snark's doing, that all the stuff that like Denims and Hasan and them endorse doing that lead to CPS getting called on his children? I'm not going to stop harping on this, dude. This has to be addressed. You can't make an entire goddamn content cop and not address them calling CPS on his children. It's indefensible. There's no defense for it. You have to at least address that and say it's bad. If you didn't, this is 100% Hasan-written goddamn propaganda. There's just no fucking way around it.
Like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty.
Understand where the aggression's coming from.
You guys were going through.
That thing you're not acknowledging.
Support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist lying
Oh
scumbag.
my God.
He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people. Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever.
Yes,
if you
that's true.
don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today.
I'll agree with that
should
part.
never be
That's
crossed, even by like the most
It
cynical,
can go on
toxic
forever.
people. It's
Especially when you refuse to address the point of the thing that they're arguing
about. How I conduct myself in terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to.
So you're gonna play all of the fucking clips that dance around the CPS thing without playing the clip where the context is the CPS thing. Dude, I might have to take a break. I'm getting fucking heated watching this. I got kids. I would absolutely lose my shit. There would be real world fucking violence if you came after my children. And the fact that you're just not even acknowledging that, and that you're cool, seemingly cool, with the people who did go after his kids, who perpetuated going after his kids, who encouraged it, and who seemed to be okay with it.
Be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say. Like, you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting to suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years. And as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground.
This is a
Horrible.
joke.
This is not what podcasts are.
There
was a way to approach.
I'm sorry, is there a definition for podcasts? What are podcasts? iDubbbz, what are podcasts? Because there's literally a podcast about fucking everything. There's literally a podcast about fucking nothing. Podcasts are whatever the fuck you want them to be. If you want them to be interviews, they can be interviews. If you want them to be themed on a certain topic, they can be themed on a certain topic. If you want it to be you and your friends getting drunk, sitting around a table talking about what the fuck ever, it can be that if people want to fucking listen to it. I didn't realize you set the rules for what podcasts were.
Just to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking.
Call out.
But I feel very insulted, and I feel defensive, and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much do you actually care? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever. And it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything?
Oh yeah,
those kids who were marching with the black students and.
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult.
You say you're okay with it, but when it comes time to prove that action,
marching with
you
the
don't.
Black students.
Yeah,
I mean, why is it
that's accurate.
Why is it inspiring?
That is what he is saying.
bring it back to Hasan just because, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hasan.
Like, people like Anissa are the perfect example because she's friends with these people. She's friends with iDubbbz. iDubbbz is streaming this story about our kid getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry, I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming, which is watching people's shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it. Why would you expect Anissa, of all people, to say something to iDubbbz? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said...
Because iDubbbz said things on her stream and didn't disavow her chat when they talked about calling that someone should call CPS on Ethan's children. She didn't agree with it, but she didn't not agree with it. And that's the problem. And calling that out is fucking justified.
Said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is claimed, they're, they're actually good people, like that's gonna get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would...
The law would care! The law! That's the point, dumbass! Because there's an open CPS investigation caused by this bullshit, and you're someone who can act as a character witness in that. Yeah, that's what a good friend would do, is go, hey, I might not agree with this beef, I might not agree with you in it, but I also don't think you abuse your kids. So if you need me to step up and say that, to testify to it, I fucking will. That's it. That's what you were supposed to do. That's what they wanted. The truth. The fact that you wouldn't say that is the problem. You're actively contributing to actions that may end, that are affecting his family and his kids. Yes, that's the fucking issue, iDubbbz.
Care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
I don't give a fuck if they take your kids. Your kids are none of my business. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what that sounds like. That's, in my
opinion, doing something that's difficult and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that
you're a better man than me, Ethan.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent.
You were dancing the fuck around this topic.
And we talked about
he can't be this dense. He has to know. He has to know.
I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles. Now we're going to talk about the BS
That's good to
list.
know.
We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan? Jesus, this is fucked up.
Oh my God. Obviously, for the sake of content on the show and to keep up with anything that they may be saying and any more propaganda that they may be spreading, especially some that could affect whether or not CPS comes after their children, he wants his staff to follow them. The wild taking this out of context. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Obviously, you want your staff to follow the people who could cause you harm, to keep a fucking eye on them, to know what's coming.
Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here? Asmongold follows Frogan? No, Asmon. That means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up. We're gonna wanna avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hasan's in there. You'd think that Hasan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hasan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hasan.
What value? Are we going to say what value? What value does this is Hasan dick writing on a whole new level. What value is Hasan giving anyone with his fucking streams? What value? I can't think of any. I got nothing.
Because that's what he did. You gotta be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hasan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hasan on Instagram, so Hasan is in his feed.
And that's
I'm gonna go back to my previous statement on that.
An iDubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hasan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hasan. It's because Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have...
That's fucking rich! The guy who wouldn't speak up to say that my friend isn't abusing his children when CPS gets called on his children is calling him a coward? This is all satire, right? Like that's going to be the big joke at the end? That's how this ends, right? That can be the only way this ends. Otherwise, it can't be taken seriously. What the man?
And I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. But he's gonna keep that to himself because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. We could talk about Bill Burr, ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hasan's stream and he mocks your content nuke.
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that, and I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah,
and so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
You don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just gonna tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream, you're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward. It's just his job.
What?
It's just what he does for his job, you know?
Why is he supposed to like address everyone who mocks him now? But you can't like say, you know what? His house isn't full of dog shit, and the dog didn't give his kid Gerardia. I don't think Ethan abuses his kids. It's the easiest statement in the fucking world to make. Is that this millionaire guy with a mansion and servants and fucking housekeepers and shit to keep things clean did their job and kept it clean. And his kid didn't get sick. That's all a lie. I don't think he abuses his kids. I think that this is being blown way out of proportion. That's all you had to say.
Now, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic, and he interviewed a fucking, basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit, and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button. You've got a video, and you've got an audio. We're hitting...
So, him threatening lawsuits against people who are lying on him and leading to real-world harm is bullying, but the people spreading the lies that led to the real-world harm, fine. Just not going to address them. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is the most disingenuous, worst fucking thing I've ever seen on the internet. And I've seen some crazy hit pieces, but this is next level.
Both.
Yes.
There's no point.
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, shit.
like, how pathetic are you? Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I don't like pedophile. But the eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. Yes, please. I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. Please, guys, please.
That was fine. Yeah, I don't think it was that
was fine.
big a deal.
Oh God, we're bringing up the...
It always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not...
It's a pretty normal thing. In case you guys don't know what the button is, it's a button he has on his podcast, which is the same thing, very similar in concept to the button that TV stations used and still use to this day when doing live broadcasts like news reports. So in case there's a slip up, in case something happens or something needs to be not shown live, then they hit this button, and basically the live broadcast is being broadcasted live on a delay. And when they hit the button, whatever's buffered into that delay, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever it is, that last bit of content doesn't get aired live. Instead, you get an advertisement or a technical difficulty screen or whatever they want to put up. They've done this on TV for a while. I want to say that it started probably after usually there's an inciting incident, and in this case, it's the Cutie Cinderella thing, which personally, I think was fine. I don't think that he needed a button for that. I don't think his reaction was I think her reaction was overreacting to something that basically wasn't even real. And I think she overreacted to it, and that him mocking it was pretty funny. I don't think it's a thing that he had to apologize for. I don't care if her feelings were hurt by fucking AI images. That your nudes didn't get shared. That's not your real body. That's not even really you in it. It's AI. And getting mad about it and having a fucking crash out over it is just going to Streisand affect the whole thing. So him mocking it was deserved. And sometimes a little mockery is what's needed to bring someone to their senses when they overreact. So they go, yeah, you know what, it's probably not as big a deal as you said. And if she had done that, then there'd probably be a lot less AI stuff about her, because I guarantee there's more after that. I don't know, haven't looked, but I'm willing to bet that there was. But anyway, I think the inciting incident for the button on TV was the famous Bill O'Reilly clip, where he's just like, fuck it, we'll do it live. And he just like has a crash out and just starts yelling. And that's all being broadcast live. And that is a meme to this day. I think after that, they were all like, maybe we should broadcast on a delay. This dude's like unhinged. Yeah, so they do something that incites it, and they decide to play better safe than sorry. But now I guess the button's a bad thing. even though you yourself make an apology video acknowledging your mistakes and pre-recorded edited videos, but someone making a mistake on a live stream and being prepared for it, oh, well, that's just, yeah, let's talk about the button.
Not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior.
I used to want a new content cop so bad, but I never thought it would be so bad. Dude, I went in cautiously optimistic. I kind of thought he was going to do the, like, sit on the fence thing he's been pretending to do, because he's definitely been working on this with Hasan and his fucking cronies the entire time, while he's pretending to sit on the fence. So I was kind of being cautiously optimistic. I had hoped that it wouldn't have anything to do with Ethan or Hasan, because everybody's trying to guess who the Content Cop's on. I'm like, if he's really trying to bring back Content Cop as a fucking series, I said this earlier in the stream, but you weren't here for that, but if he's really trying to bring it back as a series, then you do a Content Cop on yourself. Kind of wipe the slate clean, and then you, like, set the stage going forward to, like, even I'm not immune to criticism, so I'm going to criticize those who are worthy. And since you're trying to suck dick on the left so fucking hard, then maybe Content Cop will just become your new vehicle for making fun of the right. That's kind of what I thought he was going to do with it, and it would just be that. But it is just a straight up Hasan written propaganda hit piece on Ethan. Holy fuckberries. I am getting visibly angry during this, because I have children, and watching him just not even address the CPS thing at all. He's not even fucking mentioned it once, and that he won't bring it up, and that he dances around it and acts like them getting mad about it is the issue. But it's not. Like, their anger is justified. It's just, it's unreal, man.
He spent $20,000.
Dan and Ela were like,
he has drank
we
all
would
the
love
Kool-Aid
that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
So yes, he bought a button.
That's
And I
why
guess
the
this
kill
is
button
bad.
on the
Why?
play.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay.
You
what? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to?
Okay, to be clear, sometimes hitting the button over nonsense like that is done as a joke. It's like the buttons become kind of a meme. He hits it as a joke in and of itself. I wouldn't even be surprised if sometimes he tells bad jokes on purpose, just to have an excuse to hit the button and make a laugh out of it. Because you don't want the button to be only hit every time you crash out, because then, well, it looks like you crash out a lot. You want people to have to guess what really happened when you hit the button. Did you really say something super offensive? Or is this part of the joke? Is this, part of it? Like, is you hitting the button the joke? You want people guessing. You don't want people thinking that you're up there constantly saying unhinged shit. Yeah, it's calculated. I would argue it's calculated. For that reason. That's what I would do if I had a button. Which, by the way, $20,000 for a button seems a bit wild. I can set OBS to stream at a delay and use a hotkey to, like, cut that part of my stream, but for free. I didn't have to spend $20,000, but the button's cool, I guess.
Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like, their eyes are, like, big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be...
Dude, have you fucking seen live stream fails? The fuck are you talking about? That's one of the dangers of live streaming. We all just understand the risk. We all just understand the risk. And if we all had money, yes, we would do things to mitigate that risk. Some people do it now. I fucking do it now. I don't have a button, but I have a panic button for my OBS, where if I'm streaming and something crazy comes up on screen while I'm browsing Twitter or something, I can hit this button that'll throw up a technical difficulty screen, and I got it set up as kind of a joke. But it's there to be like, oh shit, something crazy showed up in my feed I wasn't ready for, because Twitter is notoriously uncensored and dangerous to browse on stream. So I got to be ready for it. This is just a smart way to stream. I can't believe you're framing this as if he's doing it maliciously. This is so fucking disingenuous. This is definitely a Hasan talk. This is a Hasan point. This is a Hasan point. This is a Hasan criticism. I don't believe that Ian actually fucking cares about this. I don't.
An emotional dumping ground for today, you instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his
This is funny.
or make it
It's a
seem
joke.
less bad.
It's a running joke.
Diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled.
He's criticizing all his
state of
jokes now?
goblin
I
mode.
do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you did.
Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
You are goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look how many times you paused the
I'm trying, bro.
And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast.
That was a nothing criticism, by the way. Like, yeah, when an adult does childish things, and you make a childish nickname for it. That's why he calls it goblin mode. It's funny. It's just a joke. It's a running joke on his fucking street. This is nothing, dude. This entire thing is just nothing. Wait, was that an AK-7? No, it's an AEK. That's marksman, right? Never mind. Not the one I want.
Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way...
See, I think that was done as a joke. I think that's done funny.
It's just, people...
Nicholas Diorio has been doing this on his stream lately, where he has his own fake button that he presses where it brings up that screen. He's not actually like editing out anything he says, but he sets it up as if he's about to say something crazy, and then he hits the button as a joke. It's a joke. It's a pretty good one too. It's a pretty good gag. I think even Family Guy and Simpsons have done the same joke. Like, it's not original to Ethan. It's just not. This is the dumbest talking point ever, and it definitely came from Hasan. Definitely came from Hasan. I don't believe that iDubbbz cares about this.
That word, and so
or that he doesn't get the joke.
Are you? You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
No,
and I'm not yelling at you. I'm just...
Kelly is a black
Still
woman,
funny.
right?
Yes.
Maziel is a...
Korean.
Yeah,
Dan,
it's
come
a
on.
joke. It's funny.
You're being such a buzzkill. Yeah, I didn't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POC.
And yes, I think Dan's in on the joke. That's part of it.
Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't
it wasn't that
have
bad.
this caveat of like, I'm not mad.
Hot take, I don't think it was that bad. I think it sounded... I have had bosses at shittier jobs that have talked to me way worse. So, I don't think it was that bad. I think Ethan's probably like... I would much rather work for him than the boss of 90% of the jobs I've worked throughout my time in the work. And I think most people would feel the same. That you could... There are Mick jobs where you get talked to way worse for way less money. I think it was fine.
At you, it was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access
Pussy.
to cover most of it.
You're doing it.
What
You're
are
making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like...
We need to get home for our
Oh, good, he's gonna
like,
play.
bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I just I'm about finishing
On
Wednesday.
Friday.
Okay.
Is it?
You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand off the...
That's it?
Ay.
What? Okay, well...
I heard all that.
Thanks, Button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted
Because
to
it's
deflect.
fine.
He wanted to say,
It's
is
nothing. This is
Button's
nothing.
First of all,
This is fucking nothing.
I know you do. And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it,
It's nicer than any boss I've ever had.
I know.
It makes it.
I was being
It's
selfish.
at worst that was just a breakdown of communication.
Me, dude. Can you imagine that?
That's
button
all.
fucking Me over like
And
that?
a little bit of frustration.
Fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
For doing it.
He's not.
Awkward and terrible. I appreciate it.
Holy
I
shit.
loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan
He's the
said was
producer.
a
It's his
joke.
job.
Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are
Yeah,
like not
it's
true.
his job.
He's exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that that was what you searched to
I did
pull
not
up that
type
photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that.
It's his job.
Why?
Does he not know what a producer does?
Deal, man.
Just
Like,
your
how
inability to.
No. Hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
Well, you just asked how it changed
Surprise
things.
them on your show.
He's there to produce the show.
You know, I understand that that's his role, and he's, you know, Ethan's made
So
that
you know
his
this.
job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it.
No. Dan didn't make it his job. It's his job. It's in the title. He's the producer. What do you think producers do, Ethan? Fucking Ian? God damn it, why are their names so similar? Fucking iDubbbz. What do you think producers do?
So heavily. In the same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults.
It was Hasan's, like, it's in the fucking, who wrote this? Who ghost wrote this for Ian? It's in the fucking description of the video. Thanks to the creators who helped me put this whole video together. Hasan is at the top, then Denims, Shonda Black, Frogan, Kirk Honda, Noah Samson, I can hear some of that in it, and fucking Matt Lieb. All people that he's defending in this too.
And look
There's
at
your
his
list of ghostwriters.
behavior
You wanted to
and
know.
give all of this emotional and empathetic energy.
Oh my God.
To Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much.
Hey guys, huddle up here, guys. Okay, I need all my people greeters over here. Need all the cashiers over here. We're having a quick Walmart huddle up. Okay, listen, Greg in domestics, he's an atheist. So I need no religious talk on the floor, guys. You guys keep talking about your religions. You guys talked about what you did at church and whatnot. Nope, we don't have that kind of freedom of speech here, guys. Okay? This is a place of work. This is a Walmart. Okay? Don't you dare have a belief and try to share it, because other people might not also believe it. That's where we're at right now. That's where the fuck we're at right now.
All right, I'm going to move on. I just want to play Hasan talking about bad empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin Mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like, I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
I wouldn't say he made that one up.
Different than Goblin mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin
Are we really trying to like break down the nomenclature of demon versus goblin? This is why it's so bad, because he called it demon mode. It's not a joke. It's not a thing people have said before. I think it's one of the modes. In case you guys are wondering, if you're playing Devil May Cry 5, okay, what you want to do here, I'll give you a quick tutorial on demon mode. Okay, if you're playing Devil May Cry 5, right here on your controller, see the Y button? Now, when the demon gauge is full, you can press the Y button to enter demon mode. Now, Dante's going to transform into a demon, but just Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's only temporary. He's going to transform into a demon. You'll be able to do some crazy combos and shit, but they'll be super offensive. But don't worry. As soon as it's over, you can return to normal and apologize. Who the fuck wrote this? Not iDubbbz telling Ethan that he shouldn't be allowed to have his own opinions. This is insane. The fact that he, like, I'm still not over the fact that he just, like, called out everything around the Child Protective Services thing that Ethan did to call out those people without addressing the CPS thing. The reason he was calling them out. Like, this is beyond propaganda. Hasan is definitely going to be impressed. Like, if you're riding Hasan's dick right now, iDubbbz, if you're riding his dick, he just fucking came. He just fucking shot buckets, dude. I hope you're there ready to catch him. Hasan. That's what this fucking sounds like. That's all I'm hearing now. That's all I'm hearing now. That's all I can hear for the rest of this. Fucking shit. Carcass just used it at the end for the skit part, but he was involved in... Oh, I'm sure he was involved in all of it. They did the skit at the beginning, too. After this, we're going to watch Ethan's response. I don't know if I'm going to watch the whole response, because this thing's already... Like, this video's already... My stream is already going way over. But there's some key moments in here I definitely want to see his reaction to. I don't know. Depends on how his reaction goes. I may end up watching the whole thing. I may just say fuck it and go all in. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Why is every clip you play of Ethan him being funnier than you and not making you look bad? Like, all these clips just make him look like a comedian making jokes. Like, none of these are the dunk you think that they are. This is fucking pathetic.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw...
This is like when someone goes to a comedy show and doesn't understand that they're supposed to laugh at the jokes. When they go to watch someone do stand-up and then they nitpick every joke. Actually, like a bunch of people going to a Chappelle skit, and when he does the whole thing where he's talking about the LGBTQ people riding in a car together, and he'd be like, actually, the trans people would sit up front, they wouldn't be in the back. I don't, like, have you never rode in a car with gay people? You clearly don't understand Dave Chappelle. They would be riding in the front, okay? They deserve to be up front. I just owned you. I just owned you so hard, Dave Chappelle. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. This is so fucking pathetic.
You as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing that.
Isn't it? Wait. Hold on. Isn't Noah Samsung the one he's suing? Someone who's being thanked as collaborating in this? I think Noah Samsung's the one he's suing, isn't it? Ethan only got through the first 15 or so minutes of the podcast. He's going to resume on Friday. Okay, so we'll watch that whole thing then. We'll watch the reaction. Because I looked at his podcast, I went through the chapters, and the chapter that said his response to it was 57 minutes long. So if you're saying he only got through the first 15 minutes, then we'll watch until he stops reacting, basically. But yeah, isn't Noah Samsung the one he's suing? So the guy you're actively in a lawsuit with is participating in this? Like, that can't go over well for the lawsuit, I wouldn't imagine. Like this, even though you're not directly in the video, because I imagine if he is the one being sued, then Noah's not going to be in the video. But the fact that you're being thanked as a collaborator on something like this, that's not good. Like, this is, maybe I'm thinking of this wrong. Is it Noah? Is it not Noah? I feel like it's Noah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad.
You have a deficit of friends. You have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad. You feel hurt. But you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to...
All right, to be clear, this isn't because his fucking feelings are hurt. See, here he is dancing around that fucking point again. It's about the fucking CPS thing. That is what this is about. In case you're wondering, he's suing for defamation. Now, in order to get defamation in the United States, it's not about whether or not what they said was true or false. what in order to meet the like criteria for defamation, what they said had to be malicious and cause damage. Even if it's partially true, it doesn't even have to be 100% false, but it had to be done in maliciously and cause substantial damage. Now, one could argue that saying things that would lead a bunch of strangers on the internet to call CPS on your home and your children would constitute damages and constitute the criteria for being malicious. That's what I would argue, and it sounds like Ethan's lawyers fucking agree. But sure, he's just doing it to bully them. See, this is the phrasing that's driving me up the fucking wall and making me so bad. I have kids, and if somebody did this shit, if I had a friend that did what Ian did, I'd probably beat the shit out of him. I would probably, like, I asked you to do one thing. I'm not even asking you to get involved. All I'm asking you is, like, hypothetically, if I need a character witness to come into court who's known me for years that can say, I don't think he abuses his children, his house isn't covered in shit, he has housekeepers, to just, all I want you to do is sit on the bench and tell me that if I need you to go to bat for me, you will. That's all I want. And if I had a friend who wasn't willing to do that when he knew for a fact I'm not abusing my children, that's not a fucking friend. And then if he comes out in defense of the people who said the things, we're fucking fighting, dude. We're fighting. I'm beating the shit out of you. This is beyond the pale.
Stop it. There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power. You have a ton of options. You have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, no, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy.
Yeah, at some point you have to defend yourself, right? Yeah.
Pedophile.
Yeah, you do.
KKK Clancy.
Especially when that point comes in real life, because
Dan
real life
Clancy,
shit
the
starts happening to you.
Fucking anti-Semite. There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above to make it like.
Is he about to fucking defend Dan Clancy now? Because Dan Clancy sucks Hasan dick, so he has to suck that dick by association. Did this just go from a Hasan dick riding a video into a straight up gangbang? Is iDubbbz going full bukkake right now? Is that what's about to happen?
Actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit like that. Dan Clancy
Online.
now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
You have so much less to go off of saying that than anybody has about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his based on his
Well,
looks.
at least you're self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
And there you go.
One of the more
Jokes and
notable
satire are
legal
fine.
threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Sampson.
Yeah,
I
it
have
was
nothing
Noah. Okay,
but,
never mind. He answered it for me in the
lives to
video.
gain, and potentially your money as well. Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll go.
Yeah, that is wild. Like, you're actively saying in the video that you're admitting he collaborated with you on, that he's being actively sued by Ethan. This can't look good for the lawsuit and like the motive behind you being malicious toward him. Like, what are they fucking thinking? Like, this can't look this can't bode. Noah's a fucking moron. I hate Noah Sampson anyway. He's a fucking idiot.
It's your wages. You're gonna be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast is so fucking creepy and weird.
Is this a new thing?
Oh?
This is a new thing. This happened
Is it?
during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard. I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say. But
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
Did Ethan bring that person on? See, I don't like the framing of that. He brought them on. Did he bring them on? Or did they ask to be there? Did they reach out to Ethan because they were a former partner, a scorned lover, if you will, and reached out to Ethan like, hey, I got some dirt for you. Like, yeah, like, who reached out to who? Are you going to conveniently leave that part out, iDubbbz? iDubbbz? iDubbbz, you can leave that part out, iDubbbz?
you are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. Noah
Yeah.
Sampson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah Sampson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now
Guess
let's
I've
talk
emptied this
about
vault
the
out. Oh.
left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports the basic thing.
Ooh, where do we think he's going with this one? Because I would say that Ethan was correct. You can go back and watch all of the episodes of Leftovers in order and see the slow transformation as Hasan presents himself as a left-leaning Democrat at first, and then slowly becomes more and more extreme with each episode until finally the fallout. But how do you think he's going to frame this? I wonder, is it going to be that, he was upfront the whole time and you misread it? Is it going to be Ethan's fault? Is that what it's going to be, that he misread it? Are we going to find a way to make this Ethan's fault?
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive...
Oh, that's where he's going. He's going to make Ethan sound malicious because he did a ambush interview with Sam Cedar on okay. That was funny. I'll admit, a little dirty. Playing a little dirty because he's been dodging him, but everybody wanted it, and you know what? Hasan talked enough shit that it was time to make him put his money where your mouth is. So, deserved. I don't think it's malicious at all. I think it's deserved. I think it's you just helping someone give him what he deserves. And someone who's defending the people who, again, going to sound like a broken record on this, got CPS called on your children.
Respects and looks up to.
He works with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
He kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk to. I don't think that I will be able.
Oh, never mind. I'm misremembering that. It was Steven Crowder that he ambushed with Sam Cedar. This is a different thing. Disregard. I got that one wrong. See? That's how that's done. That's how that's done. iDubbbz. You get something wrong, you just admit you got something wrong, move on. That's what we're doing here. I got that one wrong. I misremembered that, and I apologize. Simple. Not trying to spread misinformation here. But it's also not as simple as iDubbbz is making this out to be. So if you want to talk malicious, this entire fucking video has been that.
To reach him.
What's the insinuation that I only listen to other Jewish people? You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that agree with me on everything.
Yes, that
is
is
doesn't matter
exactly
if they're
the
Jewish,
insinuation.
Dude. Doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews
this
at
is
large
crazy.
view it. I don't think that is the.
In what position are you to even say that?
It's not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist
No,
Jews.
seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan, on occasion you might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you. It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly be someone who shares...
Yeah, but Hasan put the focus on the ethnicity. Ethan's just asking, why? Why are you making that the focus? Because they're really trying to push this narrative, because they have to, that they're not using the word Zionist as a cheat code for Jew. Because that's what they do. They just insert the word, let's just remove Jew, and we'll put Zionist in there. Oh, I hate the Jews. Whoa, that's racist. Oh, I hate the Zionists. Got it. Good. That was the whole point behind that Twitch panel that he brought up in his nuke. But again, devoid of all context. Everything that you bring up. Right, iDubbbz?
Progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender. I think Ethan understands this concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking...
You see, this is exactly why I hate to say this, and it'll be the, you know, fucking clip it if you want and keep it for all of history, because this will be the only time I say this. This will hopefully be the only time I say this, because I can't think of any other time where I would. Jordan Peterson was right. This is why Ethan should have never pandered to the left, because they will devour their own. When you go to this far left, this progressive ideology stuff, when the pronoun pushers and the people who care about identity politics and that kind of stuff, and the tone policers, all of those people, they will defend you when they're on your side, but the minute you step out of line, you're fucking next. They're always looking for the next target. He was right. They will cannibalize you. And this is why he never should have catered to that, because that's what happened here.
Bitch, can't.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though.
She is a bitch.
Yeah.
She's
With this, like...
You're right. I call her
Yeah.
see you next Tuesday.
Listen, you have...
I'm curious, what do Lena and Sam think?
You're not allowed to have human emotional moments or outbursts.
I feel like
That's not nice, Ethan. Yeah,
But
the
I-
fucking
But
tone
also to be in
policers, and that's what's happening
That is
here.
in poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room, I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
The infantilization of Ethan Klein is fucking nauseating.
Ain't gonna get that
He's
here.
not a
I'm gonna double
child.
down.
He is absolutely capable
Triple
of
down.
looking into Hasan, learning about his politics, interviewing, doing loads of things to figure out where he stands.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And for the first time, I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership. I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hasan? Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't...
He addresses that in the video that you're not showing the context for. He admits that he probably could have done more homework on Hasan, but it's also unreasonable to ask him to watch 300 hours of streaming because you have to go through every single day he streams to find out what he's like. No, he admits that he probably could have done a little more homework, but he knew the guy and thought it best. And I think it's personally, I think it's absolutely reasonable to say, hey, I'm not going to go watch your entire backlog of content. I know you personally. I'm just going to interview you for the job, you know, the way normal people do when they give you a job. So I was misled during that interview process. I trusted him. I talked to him. He told me one thing and did another. That's the point of that. That's all he was bringing up. But we're going to make it seem as if it's Ethan's. All right. Yes, he was kind of tricked. He was led to believe that that it would be one thing when they were setting it up. They had those conversations. Hasan led him to believe it was one thing. And as the show went on, he slowly tried to transform it into another, just like he does on his streams.
didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what?
They made it
60
together.
some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy. You didn't have a problem with any of it until, Ethan talks about...
He's the co-host. It's not like Ethan was the... It's not like Ethan did it all by himself and Hasan just sat there not knowing what was going to happen. They absolutely had conversations where they talked about the show and they planned out episodes. What he's saying here is that Hasan planned out episodes with him and presented it as if they were going to be talking about one thing and then blindsides him with another on multiple occasions. That was the fucking complaint. And you know what? It's fair. Yeah, this is a Hasan dick suck, man. Jesus Christ. This isn't content cop. This is content cuck. That's what we should rename this to.
About being aware of Hasan's 9/11 comments and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them.
You gave him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't deserve. That's what he's saying. He regrets giving him grace.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show
Exactly,
together.
jokes. You gave him the benefit of the
Who am I
doubt.
to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and terror.
Oh, so he's just all in on the America bad thing, right? We're about to hit all those talking points. Remember when iDubbbz understood what jokes and comedy were? Do you remember that? Remember? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hasan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinion.
Do you think he didn't? That's the point of what he's saying, is that he did talk to him. He did have those conversations, and he was misled. Hasan lied to him. That's the point here. That's what he's saying. How are you missing the point this fucking hard? Well, you're purposefully missing the point because this is a propaganda piece.
Opinions are, but you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online. You're not a victim. You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes. If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking
Yeah, there we
choice.
go.
You
It's
did
your
it.
fault.
You are an adult.
Hasan's not culpable for any of his actions ever.
Saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews. They cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all.
Notice how he says, like, that's what he really believes, and he was passionate when talking about the America's deserve 9/11 thing, but then didn't disavow it. So are we led to believe that iDubbbz now believes America deserved 9/11? I want someone to call him on that, and I want him to own up to it. Do we think that that's going to happen? Or do we think that he'll backpedal the same way that Hasan did? And I am going to lose my shit if someone that he'll actually listen to, because he ain't going to watch my stuff. But if you do stumble across my stuff, it shows up in your feed there, iDubbbz. If you see it, I'm calling you out on it. Do you believe America deserved 9/11? And if not, why did you just agree with it and say it was a passionate statement and not a joke? What's the reason? Don't say it was a joke. Why did you not disavow it? I need a good reason. You ain't gonna fucking give one.
All Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
This is another weird thing.
Oh
Israel
my God.
Israel. This is a lie that I see Hasan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. They have never. I don't believe that that's.
Dang, bro, this ain't Content Cop. Where are the slurs and the N-word and the green suit? First of all, he's never doing any of that shit again. Second of all, that's never really what Content Cop was about. Like, yeah, he used slurs and all of that stuff, but that was more of just to make a point. And that point being that he, as he so rightfully said in his original Content Cops, was either all of it's okay or none of it is. And we all believed he believed that at the time. It's a free speech thing. And he was the guy who got views because we were all like, finally, someone said it. Someone who's not scared to say this stuff. He was basically speaking for everyone. But now he disavows all of that. But he won't disavow that America deserved 9/11, dude. So he won't disavow that. And I swear to God, if he calls it a joke, if he gets called on it, but he's never going to watch my shit. This isn't, you're right, this isn't Content Cop. This is Content Cuck.
That's ever been stated. And I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like. I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure, it sounds like America to me.
Wow,
like,
you were just...
I don't think that Israel said
fuck
they
context, right?
represent
You were
all
taking
Jews.
this way out of context.
I don't think that's the stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest.
No, that's what you're
he doesn't
doing.
Understand what Matt Lieb is saying? Like he's making a semantic argument. Like, I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that.
Oh, fuck.
They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together, so when they're being criticized, all of a sudden, they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. there was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
Is he really about to defend the most obviously racist thing in the Hasan nuke? I thought he would just avoid this entirely. But is he really about to make a defense for it? Of course he has to, because half the people who collaborated on this video are on that fucking panel.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you got like a white guy's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then Love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list.
Right. It's a racial tier list. Okay, we're on the same page here. Where are you going with this? Where are you going, iDubbbz?
Granted,
you get it.
Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people.
Habibi literally translates to my love or be loved. It's a wildly used term. All right, yeah, okay. So we're going with the literal definitions. What was the literal definition of the F slur? I think I remember people back in high school like trying to excuse saying the F slur all the time in school by going, no, I didn't mean the bad thing for the gays. I meant bundle of sticks. Yeah, that's literally what it means. Textbook definition. Go to the library at school right now and look it up. Is that where? It's a child's argument. It's pathetic. We all know what it means. No. I said the N-word with a soft A. You can Google it. It's a term of endearment. I meant it as he's my brother.
And Muslim people, like that is a word that's used. Habibi, it means my love. Oh no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi, I'm your Habibi. So yes, it's meant to be a fun way.
So do it. Do it, Ethan. No, do it, Ian. God damn it. iDubbbz. God, I gotta remember to call him iDubbbz. I keep slipping the tongue. Do it, iDubbbz. Do it. I want you to go up to a Muslim person you don't know and say that word. I want you to address them as if it's a term of endearment. You know, like when a white guy says the N-word with a soft A. I want you to go do it. Go do it right now. Make that video. Go to a mosque. What's up, Habibi? My love. Let's see the response to that. There's no fucking way you believe this bullshit you're spouting.
That these Arab content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it, because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race, and nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew. He's Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best.
Yep.
This is
this is
racist.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hasan.
Cracker.
I mean, you know what my take is.
So we're devoiding the context of this. They did this because Hasan got banned from Twitch for saying cracker. For calling white people crackers. He got banned for using a racial slur. And they were trying to say, like, well, how bad is what you did, to find out, does the punishment meet the crime? Neither one of them are trying to claim that what he said wasn't a slur. They're acknowledging that what he said was a slur, but how bad was the slur I used? That's the point. That's the joke. That's the joke, iDubbbz. That's the joke.
We can't put this as an F, cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right?
Pale face, motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog.
So hog is my favorite. I use it all the time.
Him and Hasan
that's
feel
the
as
joke.
though they're white guys, so they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
But that's the difference, though. They're just talking about the slurs. Yeah, if it's two white people talking about white slurs, which, by the way, Hasan's white when it's convenient. But if it's two white people talking about white slurs, that's fine. If it's a bunch of black people talking about black racial slurs and making the tier list, that's a funny skit. If it's a bunch of white people making a tier list where they insert actual black people into the tier list, well, how black is Sam Jackson? Okay, is he up here with light skin? Is he on red bone level? No, I think he's down here. Like, yeah, that's what you did. That's what they did on the panel. They put people in the tier list, not slurs. They're inserting people into the slurs slot. That's the problem.
Understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan?
But now it's
You're
just
the
Arab
white guy.
shit.
You think you're more white than Hasan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So, yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put him also an Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they dropped the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi. And then it's like, Hasan, okay, actually, he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in
I want to see when they
Again,
get to
people
Ethan what he
underestimate
says.
just how,
Like, what's his
mixed
defense for
Israeli
what they did to
culture is.
Ethan?
Like,
We say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand...
Yeah, that's the point. It can't be both. It can't fucking be both. It can't be this word that has a meaning that anyone can use, but then you make a tier list where you're talking about the people who can use it. It can't be both. Either it's a racist term that only one race is allowed to say, or it's a word with a meaning and it's completely fucking innocuous and anyone can use it. It can't fucking be both. Like, you can't have it both ways. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too here. This argument doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans, and Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just gonna eat it up. It's not. Ethan is just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store, and
You can't both sides this. You can't both sides this. It is presented in a racial fact. Like, no one's arguing. Well, you and your fucking, that's it. He's gone full Hasan inner circle now. You guys are the only ones that are arguing this. Like, everyone else can see what's happening. This is trying to convince me that water ain't wet. That's all this is. You are pissing on my leg and telling me it ain't raining.
Gonna buy it and I'm gonna
Or
eat
telling
it,
me it is raining.
But
you know
it's
what I
not the good shit. Like the average
Sorry,
Arab
I'm pissed now.
American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option
Get
they have
genuinely
is fucking
heated.
Sabra, and that sucks. That's the only option, right?
It's not about
Arab
actual
distribution
Sabra.
facilities are not widespread.
Sabra's being
across
used
the
as a
US.
stand-in.
So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole
See the little dig there? See the little dig there? He left out the part where Ethan talks about in his video how Sabra is the preferred hummus brand and gives a little dig about calling it shitty. That was written by Hasan. That's a Hasan joke. That's a Hasan dig. Or Frogan. One of his fucking cronies. Yeah. He had ghostwriters. He had ghostwriters for sure. Oh my god, dude. I'm losing my shit right
He was
now.
able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days. He goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody prefers Sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is fluffy.
Sabra. Weird.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's a fair statement. No one prefers, despite what the commercials would have you believe, no one actually prefers DiGiorno pizza over restaurant-style pizza, over professionally cooked pizza. So at delivery, it's DiGiorno. No, we can tell the fucking difference, okay? Like, no one actually, that applies to every brand. Like, what is this argument?
buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like when you
I mean, that's
eat
just
the Sabra
hummus.
shit, it
I don't
just
eat
feels so
hummus,
much
but yeah.
heavier. Imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra.
It's made different because it has to stay on the shelf longer.
Oh, okay.
Well, you hate Jews then.
I don't.
And Arabs.
Yeah.
This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing.
You can, but that's not what they did. They were the ones who presented it in a racial fashion by putting it on a racial tier list on who can say what words and what races are allowed to do what. That's the problem. They made this, they framed it this way when they made the tier list. That's the entire fucking point, you idiot.
He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because
You
we all
disingenuous
know
cockbag.
anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's an
Struggling to read the
incident on
script now,
podcast
iDubbbz?
where
Stuttered a little
They
bit.
were reacting to Cutie Cinderella, and Ethan
Wonder if he had to pause there and be like, line. Hasan, line. Forgot the next one.
was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my
Okay.
apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect.
You know that if Hasan ever apologized for something, or Frogan or one of his cronies, and they got an A+ rating, they wouldn't shut up about it either. That's the point in the rating. It's supposed to be a, see, I did good. That's what it is. It's a pat on the back. This whole rating system is bullshit, but yeah, that's the only reason that this stuff exists, is to make creators feel good for the thing that they did. See, I've earned your brownie points. I got a good rating.
Score a perfect 10.
A perfect
But
10
sure,
out of
let's
10?
give him shit
Literally
for it.
10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to.
Worst
make
part
an
is coming up.
apology.
Right.
Best
10 out of 10.
I don't know if I can make it, man. Worst part's coming up. I don't know if I can make it. I am already so pissed off right now. I've been losing my shit since the downplaying of Child Protective Services, because I just keep imagining somebody doing that to my kid and how much I'd lose it. And then if they tried to downplay somebody being racist to me too, this is just a fucking 8-layered dip of shit that they're just piling on that's making me angry. But I can get through it. I can get through it. Frogan was the worst part. That doesn't fucking surprise me. Okay, I can get through it. I can do this. I can do this.
You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10.
The gaslighting is fucking real, though.
Apology, so.
Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my god.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment.
At least I
during
get to
this
shoot shit
video.
while I
Like,
was-
could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And
Oh, wake
I don't
him
know
up.
If this came from
Okay.
a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of
Oh,
getting
here's where
Ethan's
it comes from.
grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying. And
Did they grade iDubbbz apology video? What did iDubbbz get? Somebody in chat, tell me what did iDubbbz get for his apology video? Is that what this is? This might actually be an iDubbbz part where he's just butthurt that Ethan's apology video was received better than his. That might be it. That might be what this is. Because this is childish. This is fucking going to the guy and trying to get the rating. This is a kid in school who can't believe the kid that sleeps through class just scored better than him on a test. So you talk to the teacher to be like, does he really deserve that A? This is that. This is that energy.
we might learn a thing or two.
Xander. Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score 10. I said, hey, Lud, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, iDubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request.
Yeah, he went there in person to do this.
I can understand where it's coming from.
Going to go talk to the teacher after school.
I
You don't
guess have a
deserve that.
policy that when there is a grade for an apology,
Stick to it. Stick to it.
just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me,
There has to be a reason he's using this clip, though. What I'm hoping is going to happen is he's going to try to give iDubbbz a little bit of what he wants here. He's going to say, look, I'm not going to change the grade because the apology is what the apology is. And I graded the apology in a bubble. It is what it is. But if you want to say, but now if you want me to judge his behavior to say, do I think he's learned something? And then kind of elaborate further. I think that might be what he does here. And we'll see.
I believe that Ethan is a good person.
Which is still bullshit.
He will
that you
feel
went all the way there to
sorrow
do that.
and will feel sorry.
Yeah.
And will apologize.
Okay, so yeah,
and
he
I
is
will
judging
be
the
there
behavior.
to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know.
Okay, no, so he doesn't.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Oh, and then we give him shit for it. Okay. No, so he did good. I like this guy now. Because I was like, oh, is he going to try to do the, well, I'll judge the behavior, but I don't normally do that. And then like make a, look, this is just my opinion. I'm not going to give his behavior a grade. But if I think, did he learn something? It's too, I thought he was going to give like a soft answer. Like, well, it's too hard to tell, but maybe, and then kind of do that. Give Ian something to work with. But instead, you went there for dirt and he gave you nothing. He stuck by his guns and said, "No, I have actual fucking integrity for my content. It is what it is. I stick to my standards, and I gave the rating I gave. And if he makes another apology based on future behavior, I'll grade that one too." Oh, this guy stinks. Why? Because he has standards and your favorite content creator best friend doesn't. Oh man, this is not the own you think it is, Dubs. Why even include this? This makes you look fucking petty and ridiculous. Because I think this is about iDubbbz getting a worse rating than Ethan and then just doing this as like an own. And then it didn't go the way it did. Oh, man. He just shares random clips. I don't think he knew of the video. Yeah, I think someone else edited it and they're kind of throwing iDubbbz under the bus a little bit. Maybe intentionally, maybe not. But they're definitely, iDubbbz is being used as a puppet now, as a vehicle for Hasan's propaganda. To save the reputation of him and his inner circle. iDubbbz is being used like a good little dog. Quote the I'm Alex stuff. See, I told you I was paying attention to that drama, even though I didn't cover the whole thing. Just lay down like a good little dog. Yeah, that's what you're doing, Ethan. Hey, Ian, fuck. God damn it, I hate their names are so similar. Y'all know what I mean.
Grade.
I'm not going to edit this out or correct it. Fuck it, I've done it too many times at this point.
Anyone can have their own official apology rating system, so I'm going to rate.
Oh, you're just going to do your own rating. Well, there you go. This is credible. Based on nothing.
My own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was
because this guy has a degree and you don't. But okay.
That it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of.
I think that sounds like a joke.
That shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs
Making
a
jokes.
hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking.
Remember when you used to understand humor?
I think something that's very important to me in.
Was it a threat? Did he just threaten Ethan with an ass whooping? Is that where we're going? The creator of Creator Clash, where content creators actually fucking fight, just said that another content creator needs an ass whooping? Oh, are we about to announce that you want to fight in Creator Clash 3 after all? Assuming you're still going forward with that shit show? Huh? We're going to challenge Ethan? I think Ethan could take him. But no, I don't think he has the balls for that anymore. iDubbbz balls have been firmly removed from his body at this point.
Bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not.
What? Hey, as long as you're Googling definitions of words there, iDubbbz, can you Google the definition of fair for me? And tell me if this Content Cop has been anywhere remotely close to that. Spoiler alert, it hasn't.
Not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been and probably wouldn't have left.
Oh, this is more fair.
Regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid.
Based
but
on
I
what?
also think at the end of the day, we should.
Because Hasan said so?
Human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other...
Why? Why? What part of his situation? Say it, motherfucker. Say it. What part of his situation is making him all of those things? It's not just online people talking shit. What happened in real life to give him those feelings? That thing you've avoided saying for the entire fucking video. What is that thing and where did it come from? What is it? What is it, iDubbbz? Fucking say it, you coward. Propagandist.
In the spirit of Kirk saying...
No, he's not going to say it.
Looks like
He's not going to fucking say it.
Could just use a hug. I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and...
Oh, here's the part where you say you're a better person because you did this.
He deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your...
All right, they wrote this part. This was written by all of those content creators who hate, because it's going to be all people in Hasan's inner circle. There's a lot of other content creators who also hate Ethan, but they're not going to be in this. It's just going to be Hasan's orbiters. It's just going to be his little inner circle. Why? Because this is them... This is their moment. We're better than Ethan moment. This isn't fucking genuine. No part of this is genuine. I don't even think they believe the stuff that they're saying, but they're finding nice stuff to say about him so they can go, balls in your court, Ethan. Say something nice about us now. See? We said something nice about you.
Content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best. So
I think you're at your best when you stay in your fucking lane. Okay, leave the politics world alone. Shut up about Israel, about Palestine, about Gaza. Shut up about anything political and stay in your fucking lane, Ethan. See, I think that's when you're at your best. I said something nice.
I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocked.
They're all stay in your lane comments. Stay in your fucking lane, Ethan. Politics is our thing. You're out of your breadth. We're going to make you look like a stupid, fucking uneducated guy who knows nothing about politics. You're in over your head. You don't know what you're talking about. Stay in your lane. Make your little jokes. Hang out with your little friends and make your little podcast. Just don't touch our content. Stop making us look bad. Stay in your fucking lane. That's what this is. This is the most passive-aggressive bullshit I've ever fucking seen. What's the new term for it? We're not going passive aggressive because I don't even think they're being aggressive. Oh, toxic positivity.
Cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better, and I thought that was cool because I thought it was like.
Oh, the fact that he's bringing up lawsuits and stuff. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think Noah Samson was going to show his fucking face in this, given the fact that he is actively being sued by Ethan right now. But this is going to be his... See, I admired him for fighting a frivolous lawsuit. Now I'm disappointed that he's filing one against me. Oh, that's how it's... Oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's not going to work, but I see what you're trying. Hope it don't work.
Fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, it's really hard to be
The fucking crocodile tears? I don't know. iDubbbz a big enough pussy that these may be real, but oh man, you're pulling like the Karen, like the white woman card, and using tears to. You're a victim now. He's going full victim mode. Ethan's going goblin mode, but iDubbbz is going victim mode. This is so fucking pathetic.
Couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them.
right, sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more hold up, a feeling of almost infallibility that I could take anything on. It led
The fucking maliciousness behind making a hit piece on someone and then crying about that person in the hit piece as if you fucking give a shit about them. You just spent the last hour burning that goddamn bridge to the ground and talking about how much he deserves it. And now you're crying about him as if you just feel so bad for him. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
led me to make a lot of mistakes. And then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
Okay. Okay, so that's the entire fucking iDubbbz thing, huh? You were right. You were absolutely right, chat. The worst part is the end. The fucking crocodile tears. The fucking, like, you're acting like you're mourning over the loss of a friend when you're doing nothing but contributing to the things that are pushing him off the fucking edge. You went through that entire fucking hour and 6 minute long fucking content cuck video without you once mentioning the real life, real world fucking effect that this is having on him. That CPS got called to his house, and that all of the people you just put in that video who said nice things about Ethan, they don't hate him, didn't disavow chat or tell them not to do that thing. True, they didn't tell them to do it, but they also didn't tell them not to. And what's the saying? The only thing needed for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing, which is what they did.